Picture yourself beneath the expansive night sky, a tapestry of stars shimmering gently overhead as you come together around a warm, crackling fire. Once upon a time, a voice rose to weave enchanting narratives of powerful deities, brave champions, and enigmatic beings that seemed both far away and oddly close to the heart. In the beginning, the tales of Greek mythology unfolded in a manner like this. Narratives passed down through the ages, guiding individuals in understanding their surroundings, imparting wisdom about existence, and softly uncovering the essence of humanity. These tales were never merely for amusement. They gently intertwined with the essence of humanity's self-understanding throughout the ages. In these narratives, deities reside majestically on Mount Olympus. Champions embark on daunting quests, and everyday individuals face remarkable trials. In the days of old, the Greeks wove tales that unraveled the mysteries of their world, attributing the roar of thunderstorms to the might of Zeus and the shifting of seasons to the poignant journey of Persephone into the depths below each year. Yet beyond these insights, ancient tales provided direction on love, bravery, knowledge, and destiny, aiding individuals in grasping not only the world around them, but also their own inner selves. Unbeknownst to many, the echoes of ancient myths linger in the shadows of our modern world, weaving their tales into the fabric of our lives. When we mention someone's Achilles heel or refer to a challenging task as Herculean, we are invoking timeless tales, often without even realizing it. Greek mythology has woven its intricate threads through our language, literature, psychology, and popular culture, influencing the very fabric of our thoughts and expressions. Join me on a captivating journey as we delve into the enchanting realm of Greek mythology. We will traverse the origins of the universe, witness the thrilling escapades of gods and heroes, and uncover the poignant tales of mortals who bravely confronted their destinies. Prepare to encounter Zeus, the sovereign of the divine Athena, the embodiment of wisdom, Poseidon, the master of the oceans, and legendary heroes such as the valiant Hercules, the clever Odysseus, and the fearless Achilles. As we journey together, we shall explore grand quests, heart-wrenching romances, exhilarating escapades, and subtle teachings that echo through the ages. As ever, the emphasis need not be on the visuals or the screen. Imagine this as a warm gathering of tales, perfect for unwinding, easing into tranquility, or allowing your mind to wander as you immerse yourself in the narrative. As you prepare for a tranquil evening, engage in some tasks, or simply seek to explore these timeless narratives, make yourself at home, enjoy a treat, and allow these tales to softly lead you on a journey. Come gather near the warmth of the flames, if you will. As we set forth on this journey, we enter an ancient realm brimming with enigma, adventure, and ageless knowledge. As we reach the conclusion of our adventure, you will have delved into the rich tapestry of Greek mythology from its very beginnings to its grand finale. You will come to grasp the timeless allure of these enchanting tales that resonate with us even after millennia have passed since their inception. Let us dive right into the tale. In the time before the dawn graced the heavens, before the gentle caress of waves kissed the sands, there was naught but a swirling tempest of chaos. Yet this turmoil was not the sort of turmoil we might envision in our modern minds. In a world untouched by conflict, free from calamities, and chaos. A boundless expanse, quiet and profound, unfurling infinitely into the depths of shadow. Picture yourself in a time long past, gathered around a flickering campfire under a starlit sky. As a wise elder begins to share a tale, their voice soft yet resonant, intricately crafting the very first narrative ever shared. From this boundless void, an extraordinary tale began to unfold. From the depths of silence arose the primordial essence, Gaia, the mother of Earth. She radiated strength, a force of nature vibrant and full of life in every conceivable way. She was not just the soil you tread upon. She embodied the very essence and vitality of the earth. As Gaia stirred from her slumber, majestic mountains emerged from her essence valleys, unfurled gracefully, and expansive plains spread out in all their glory. She stood as the unwavering bedrock of existence, steadfastly awaiting the blossoming of life. Yet the earth soon found itself in the company of others. Not long after Gaia took her first breath, a new entity began to take shape from the shadows. In the profound depths of Gaia, beyond the reach of any cave or canyon, there existed Tartarus, a realm so remote and shadowy that it resided far beneath the surface of the earth. Tartarus lay in a darkened void concealed from the eyes of the world above, eternally distanced from the realm of light. To the ancient Greeks, its depth was unfathomable, its darkness complete. In a realm yet untouched by the weight of destiny, there lay a place, quiet and concealed, biding its time, destined to hold the mightiest of souls within its grasp. Yet deep within her essence, Gaia nurtured an unwavering longing to craft and mold the very fabric of existence. From the depths of her essence, she summoned forth Uranus, the vast sky, who unfurled himself infinitely above her. Picture the inaugural expanse of the sky, unfolding for the first time, boundless grand, and imbued with serene splendor. Uranus enveloped Gaia, entirely cradling her under a vast canopy adorned with countless stars, the moon, and all that graces our night sky when we gaze upward. In the beginning, earth and sky, Gaia and Uranus wove their tale together, eternally intertwined, yet forever apart, companions in the primordial narrative of existence. Yet the wellspring of Gaia's imagination had not run dry. Alone, she brought forth yet another creation, Pontus, the embodiment of the sea. Waters began to flow gently, enveloping vast stretches of her surface. The vast oceans unfurled from her being serene yet powerful, merging with the horizon under the vigilant eye of Uranus. Pontus was the essence of the boundless, enigmatic waters, a primordial spirit who thrived in harmony with his mother Gaia. His existence guaranteed that the earth was not merely a barren expanse, but a realm enriched by the strength and allure of the oceans. Let us take a moment to vividly envision these ancient entities, much like the ancients of Greece would have done. Gaia, the earth steadfast and enduring beneath your feet. The vast expanse of the sky, a limitless canvas unfolding infinitely overhead. Pontus, the vast ocean enveloping you, a force of nature, both fierce and serene. And there lies Tartarus, a shadowy abyss hidden from sight and shrouded in mystery deep beneath the surface. These beings were not deities in the traditional sense, residing on lofty peaks and engaging directly with mortals. Instead, they were timeless, formidable entities, that subtly wove the intricate tapestry of existence. In the beginning, there were four mighty beings: Gaia, Uranus, Pontus, and Tartarus. Each held dominion over their unique realms, embodying the essence of creation itself. Gaia embodied the essence of stability, the fertile soil from which all life would soon blossom and thrive. Uranus unfolded as an endless canvas, a domain filled with twinkling stars, wandering planets, and the enigmas of the cosmos, eternally elusive yet ever looming in the imagination. Pontus was the vast, eternal sea, profound and mysterious, enveloping and nurturing the realm. In the depths of silence, Tartarus lay shrouded in a profound darkness, a concealed realm cradling mysteries beyond comprehension. In a time long forgotten, these timeless entities wove the fabric of the world, shaping it into the realm the Greeks would come to know long before the first footsteps of humanity graced the land. Each played a distinct part, subtly influencing a fragment of reality, weaving harmony and order from the void of disorder. Gathered around our imaginary campfire, we immerse ourselves in this tale, feeling the comfort and wonder that the ancient Greeks discovered in their narratives. In this manner, they sought to grasp the origins of all that existed, the solid ground they stood upon, the vast expanse of the heavens overhead, the encircling sea, and the enigmatic shadows that eluded their complete understanding. With the foundation of these ancient entities laid, their tales were destined to weave into intricate narratives, filled with their descendants, rivalries, and the emergence of formidable deities and champions in the ages to come. For the moment, our narrative centers on this initial act of creation. As Gaia rises from the chaos, giving birth to Uranus, Pontus, and Tartarus, subtly preparing the groundwork for all that is to come. These ancient powers were neither revered nor engaged with in the manner of the deities that would come after them. They existed as formidable beings, commanding respect and awe for their vast power, yet shrouded in mystery and distance, rarely engaging with the affairs of humanity. Rather, they embodied the fundamental elements of existence, providing the backdrop for all that was destined to transpire. Long before the dawn of gods, heroes, or mortals, they wove the very fabric of the cosmos. In every myth and legend that unfolds, their essence lingers softly, weaving through the fabric of future tales, serving as the unseen bedrock upon which the cosmos stands. And so, as we huddle around our timeless campfire under a sky now adorned with countless stars, we find ourselves in hushed reverence, envisioning those beings and the profound wonder of witnessing the world's creation as it blossomed for the very first time. And so we embark on a journey that has only just begun. Countless tales await to be shared, yet the enigmas surrounding the world's initial formation, gradually and quietly rising from chaos, will forever remain some of the most compelling and deep narratives ever recounted. In the distant echoes of time, when the first beings rose from the depths of chaos as Gaia, the nurturing earth, Uranus, the vast sky, Pontus, the boundless sea, and Tartarus, the shadowy abyss, gave way to a new lineage of formidable entities. In the beginning, there existed the Titans, formidable entities birthed from the union of Gaia and Uranus, destined to reign over the primordial universe. In a harmonious union, Gaia and Uranus gave life to 12 magnificent Titans. In the dawn of the universe, each Titan emerged wielding extraordinary power, and embracing a distinct purpose in the grand tapestry of existence. Oceanus, the firstborn of the Titans, personified the boundless waters that embrace the earth. His vast and meandering rivers, gently sustaining every nook and cranny of the world. Hyperion, the radiant Titan of celestial brilliance, cast his luminous presence across the cosmos, bestowing the warmth of the sun, the soft glow of the moon, and the tender light of the dawn upon all of existence. In the realm of the cosmos, Koas, the keeper of celestial secrets, observed the enigmatic dance of stars and constellations with a watchful eye. Meanwhile, his brother Creus orchestrated the movements and placements of these heavenly bodies, weaving harmony into the tapestry of the night sky. Iapetus emerged as a beacon of human existence, embodying the struggles and triumphs of life, a testament to the enduring spirit that would inspire those who followed. In the midst of the Titans there stood Cronus, the youngest among them, whose silent power was rivaled only by the vastness of his aspirations. Beside Cronus was Rhea, a figure of both tenderness and strength, representing the essence of motherhood and the bounty of fertility. Themis, the revered protector of celestial law and harmony, whose profound insight weaves the essence of fairness into the world. Mnemosyne, the guardian of recollections, softly safeguarding the narratives and wisdom destined to endure. Tethys, the beloved companion of Oceanus, who lovingly tended to countless freshwater springs and rivers. Theia, with her soft radiance, brought forth the shimmer of precious metals and gems, casting a glow that highlighted the world's inherent beauty. Phoebe, a beacon of prophetic wisdom, unveiled the profound truths of existence, casting light upon the minds of both gods and mortals. Amidst the might of these formidable siblings, it was Cronus who was destined for a path unlike any other. As the other Titans governed their realms in harmony, Uranus, their progenitor and sovereign of the universe, gazed upon his children with an increasing sense of foreboding. Every child brimmed with strength, power, and boundless potential, a potential that seemed overwhelming to the anxious sky god. Uranus, feeling profoundly threatened by their might, confined Gaia's other children, especially the formidable Cyclopes, those one-eyed giants, renowned for their extraordinary skills, and the fearsome Hecatoncheires creatures, boasting 50 heads and 100 powerful arms, far beneath the earth in the depths of Tartarus. Gaia, with a heart heavy and burdened by sorrow for the children ensnared beneath her surface, endured an unending anguish. Their confinement was a relentless ache she bore in silence, but soon her grief transformed into a steadfast resolve. Determined to liberate her children and put an end to Uranus's tyranny, Gaia fashioned a weapon, a sleek, curved sickle, meticulously forged from adamant, a material so formidable it could slice through even a deity. With determination, she moved from one Titan to the next, urging them to rise against Uranus and liberate their kin. Yet one by one, they faltered, gripped by the dread of Uranus's overwhelming strength. It was Cronus, the youngest of them all, who with a heart full of courage stepped forward to embrace this perilous challenge. With the sickle in hand, Cronus steeled himself for the pivotal moment that would alter the fabric of the universe for all time. When Uranus next graced Gaia with his presence, Cronus stood prepared. In the stillness of the shadows, he observed his father, drawing near to the ground, a silent witness to the unfolding moment. As Uranus spread his influence over Gaia, Cronus seized the moment, brandishing the adamant sickle and delivering a deep wound to his father. In a moment that would echo through the ages, Uranus met his downfall. In a heartbeat, his dominion and might were extinguished. As the vanquished sky god descended into the abyss, he unleashed a dreadful curse upon Cronus, prophesying that a day would come when Cronus would endure a similar downfall, betrayed and usurped by one of his own progeny. In the radiant aftermath of triumph, Cronus boldly seized control of the cosmos, casting aside the ominous foretelling that loomed over him. His reign was one of strength and command, yet it unfolded with a calm and deliberate grace. With his siblings by his side, he heralded the dawn of a remarkable era, a time steeped in peace, harmony, and prosperity. In his guiding presence, the land yielded abundantly. Crops thrived with little toil, rivers meandered softly and consistently, and the entire realm appeared serene and steadfast. Cronus took Rhea, his sister, as his wife. Her nurturing spirit and quiet strength beautifully balanced his powerful yet anxious demeanor. In a time when the cosmos flourished under a tender balance, they guided the realms with care. But Cronus found himself haunted by the foreboding whispers of his father's prophecy. Tormented by the ominous words of the prophecy, Cronus found himself ensnared in a web of suspicion, ever watchful of the perceived danger his own offspring might bring. With each birth, Rhea felt the weight of despair, as Cronus, consumed by his own fears, would snatch the newborn from her arms and devour it whole, sealing his children away within his own being, convinced that no prophecy could ever find them there. Rhea stood by her heart, shattering as her children slipped away into the dark embrace of Cronus. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon consumed entirely their destinies, shrouded in mystery, trapped within the depths of their father's belly. Yet when Rhea discovered she was expecting another child, a fierce determination ignited within her to safeguard this little one at all costs. As the moment of birth approached, she stealthily journeyed away from Cronus's vigilant gaze, making her way to the remote shores of Crete. In a secluded cave nestled within the jagged cliffs and embraced by a dense canopy of trees, she welcomed her son Zeus into the world. With her newborn secure in her arms, Rhea wove a cunning tale of misdirection. With great care, she enveloped a smooth, heavy stone in soft, swaddling clothes and made her way home, where she joyfully presented it to Cronus as their newest addition to the family. Cronus, consumed by his own dread and mistrust, devoured the stone with no second thoughts. With a sense of fulfillment, he had once more averted the fate foretold by his father. In the shadows of the rugged slopes of Mount Ida in Crete, Zeus found refuge cleverly concealed from the ever-watchful gaze of Cronus. In a hidden cave, nestled high amidst rugged cliffs and embraced by thick forests, the young deity flourished lovingly, cared for by the nurturing goat Amalthea. From her milk flowed the essence of life, bestowing upon Zeus the strength and vitality he needed to rise above all. Her nurturing spirit grew into a tale of legend, transforming her shattered horn into a cornucopia, eternally representing the bounty and wealth of life. Yet, Amalthea was not the sole guardian of Zeus. In a time of great peril, a band of valiant warriors, the Curetes, embraced a sacred mission to shield the cries of the child from the ears of Cronus. In moments of Zeus's sorrow, the Curetes would raise their arms in a fierce display, their swords striking against bronze shields, crafting a thunderous symphony that reverberated through the majestic mountains. To an outsider, this commotion seemed like nothing more than a showcase of military exercises or rehearsals for combat. In the midst of the fierce clang of metal, the soft cries of the infant were veiled, protecting the concealed deity from the unyielding fears of Cronus. Zeus flourished within this watchful embrace. As time flowed on, the once small and vulnerable child transformed into a powerful and resolute young individual. Raised in the untamed wilds of Crete, he emerged as a resourceful and astute individual. Each day, he immersed himself in rigorous training, scaling towering cliffs and sprinting relentlessly through thick, shadowy woods. He absorbed wisdom from the very essence of nature, observing the dance of storms, the might of the wind, and the delicate shifts in the sky. From a tender age, he appeared to be on a path to conquer the skies, effortlessly wielding the forces of nature with an innate grace. As Zeus reached maturity, fully cognizant of the dark destiny that loomed over his brothers and sisters, he embarked on a secretive quest to devise a plan to challenge Cronus and restore justice to the gods held captive. Yet Zeus understood that mere physical might would never be enough. Cronus indeed possessed great power, sharp cunning, and unwavering vigilance. To overcome his foe, Zeus sought the gifts of wisdom, cunning, and subtlety, all of which resided in the Titaness Metis, a renowned figure across the cosmos, celebrated for her sharp intellect, cleverness, and resourceful insight. Metis swiftly discerned the spark within Zeus, envisioning him as the destined champion to challenge Cronus's oppressive reign. In unison, they crafted a meticulous and elaborate scheme to liberate Zeus's brothers and sisters. In a realm where magic and nature intertwined, Metis, a master of herbs and potions, skillfully concocted a potent elixir, a remedy aimed at undoing the harsh actions of Cronus. This potion possessed a remarkable ability to compel Cronus to free the siblings he had consumed, bringing back their vigor and true selves. Under the watchful eye of Metis, Zeus donned a clever disguise, transforming into a seemingly unassuming young cupbearer, innocent, loyal, and perfectly crafted to evade Cronus's keen gaze. One evening, as Cronus reclined upon his throne, enveloped by the presence of his Titan siblings, Zeus crept forward, offering his father a goblet brimming with sweet wine, artfully infused with the powerful elixir of Metis. Cronus, blissfully unaware and feeling invulnerable, took a hearty swig from the cup. In an instant, a searing pain gripped him, coursing through his powerful body and plunging him into a tumult of relentless suffering. One by one, he set free the siblings of Zeus. Hestia, the nurturing deity of the home. Demeter, the sage guardian of the bountiful fields. Hera, a figure of immense power, destined to stand alongside Zeus in the grand tapestry of Olympus. Hades, the fated ruler of the realm below. And Poseidon, the future ruler of the oceans and tempests, now fully matured, formidable, and ready to exact his retribution. At long last, Zeus and his liberated siblings joined together, pledging a sacred vow to bring an end to Cronus's tyranny and to restore harmony to the universe. And so unfolded the epic and fierce Titanomachy, a legendary clash between the ancient Titans and the newly risen Olympian gods. The clashes erupted with a fierce intensity, each confrontation trembling the very mountains, flattening the forests, and transforming the landscape itself. For a decade, filled with relentless struggle, neither side could claim a clear victory. In a clash of Titans and Olympians, the air crackled with the force of their might, shaking the heavens themselves. Even the mighty Zeus came to understand that raw strength was not the sole answer. Triumph called for even mightier companions. He recalled the bound siblings of Gaia, the Cyclopes, and the formidable Hecatonchirus, who suffered in the depths of Tartarus. With unwavering courage, Zeus ventured into the shadowy depths, a realm so ominous that even the mightiest of gods seldom dared to tread. In the depths of Tartarus, Zeus discovered the Cyclopes and the Hecatonchirus, who, filled with gratitude, vowed their loyalty and joined the fray with unwavering fervor. In gratitude to Zeus for their newfound freedom, the Cyclopes, renowned for their unparalleled craftsmanship, crafted remarkable weapons of legend. For Zeus, they forged thunderbolts, radiant weapons of lightning, infused with a power so formidable that no force could stand against them. Poseidon wielded a formidable trident, a powerful instrument that granted him dominion over the vast oceans, allowing him to conjure storms and unleash tidal waves with a mere thought. In the depths of the underworld, Hades received a mystical helmet of darkness, a gift that cloaked him in invisibility, allowing him to glide through the shadows, delivering his blows with lethal accuracy. With their formidable weapons in hand, the Olympians charged ahead into the fray of battle. The tide began to shift dramatically, yet it was the colossal Hecatonchires that truly altered the course of events. With 100 mighty arms, they cast colossal boulders and mountains at the Titans, who fought valiantly to withstand this relentless onslaught. The mighty forces of the Olympian gods, the formidable Cyclopean weapons, and the relentless might of the 100-handed giants converged to break the Titan resistance once and for all. One by one, Cronus and his loyal companions found themselves ensnared and restrained. With the echoes of battle still resonating, Zeus, triumphant and resolute, cast his gaze upon the fallen Titans, delivering his judgment with a blend of strength and justice. In the shadowy depths of Tartarus, Cronus and his fellow Titans found themselves ensnared, trapped within an infinite void, eternally watched over by the fierce and watchful Hecatonchirus. Their confinement heralded a pivotal transformation in the grand tapestry of the universe, bringing the age of the Titans to a definitive close. With the shadow of Cronus's prophecy finally lifted, Zeus and his siblings emerged triumphant, forging a new era of divine governance. Zeus took his place upon the throne, reigning as the supreme deity master of the expansive skies and the very fabric of existence. Poseidon claimed dominion over the vast oceans and flowing waters, wielding his powerful trident to summon tranquil seas or unleash tempestuous storms at his will. In the shadows of the underworld, Hades emerged as its solemn sovereign, a figure of both authority and justice, guiding the souls of the departed with a watchful eye. Hera, sister to Zeus and destined to be queen, personified loyalty, marriage, and the essence of divine order, steering the intricate web of relationships and interactions between gods and mortals alike. In a time long past, Demeter graced the earth with bountiful harvests and lush fields, cradling humanity in her embrace and bestowing the nourishment essential for civilization to flourish. At last, Hestia kept her vigilant gaze upon hearths and homes, a gentle yet constant source of warmth and safety that enveloped families and communities alike. The fall of Cronus and the Titans signified not merely a triumph in combat, but a significant shift in the equilibrium of the universe. In a time long past, the mighty gods of Olympus wielded their power to mold the very fabric of the world, crafting a new realm that would stand the test of time. Even in the shadows of their defeat and confinement, the Titans lingered in the whispers of memory, never truly fading from the tapestry of time. Whispers of their tales floated softly through the ages, echoes of a time steeped in raw power, unyielding strength, and relentless ambition. Even in their moments of loss, their legacy endured, weaving its influence through the lives of the Olympians and humanity in myriad, quiet, yet profound ways. And so, the era of the Titans drew to a close, giving way to the reign of Zeus, a reign destined to resonate through the annals of time, shaping the destinies of both gods and mortals for eternity. With the formidable Titans vanquished and confined deep within Tartarus, Zeus and his siblings faced a monumental challenge to reconstruct the world and forge harmony from the remnants of chaos. After a decade of relentless conflict, the moment had arrived to weave harmony and order into the lives of both divine beings and humanity. In their quest for a majestic abode, the Olympians selected a grand mountain, a revered sanctuary known as Mount Olympus. The summit rose majestically, shrouded in a veil of mist and snow, as if it were reaching out to touch the very heavens. In this realm, Zeus crafted a splendid palace, shimmering with gold and silver, adorned with marble halls and gardens brimming with exquisite fragrant blooms. In the grand hall, thrones rose majestically, each one a masterpiece crafted for the divine being destined to occupy it. In the grand tapestry of the cosmos, Zeus emerged as the triumphant leader of the Olympians ascending to the throne, as the sovereign of the gods reigning supreme over the vast expanse of the skies. His throne rose majestically, surveying the realm beneath. In a moment of gratitude, the Cyclopes forged for him mighty lightning bolts emblematic of his immense power and dominion. While Zeus possessed great wisdom and a sense of fairness, he was not without his flaws. He, too, could be swayed by his emotions, acting on impulse, much like the mortals he ruled over. He took on the mantle of guardian for justice, hospitality, and law principles that held profound significance for the Greeks. In a realm where the waves dance and the rivers flow, Poseidon, the formidable brother of Zeus, claimed dominion over the vast oceans and every stream that meanders through the land. From a magnificent underwater palace adorned with coral and glistening gems, he reigned concealed in the depths of the ocean, close to the legendary city of Atlantis. With a blend of reverence and trepidation, sailors turned to Poseidon, offering their prayers before embarking on their journeys, for they knew well that his temperament could change in an instant, transforming tranquility into tempest. With a trident in hand, a formidable creation of the Cyclopes, he wielded the forces of nature, storms, waves, and earthquakes, demonstrating both his might and his volatile spirit. The third brother, Hades, assumed dominion over the underworld, a shadowy realm concealed deep within the earth's embrace. Many trembled at his name, believing him to be merciless. Yet in truth, Hades was just and composed quietly, overseeing the realm of the lost souls. At the threshold of the underworld, where shadows danced and whispered secrets, stood the formidable Cerberus, a three-headed guardian. The gates opened to reveal winding rivers and dark caverns illuminated by a ghostly light that beckoned the brave and the curious alike. Hades glided silently between the realms of mortals and deities, cloaked in the magic of a helmet that rendered him unseen, diligently executing his duties. With the heavens, oceans, and the depths of the underworld under the dominion of the brothers, the other Olympian gods emerged to fulfill their vital roles in preserving harmony. In the grand tapestry of the divine Hera, sister to Zeus and sovereign of the heavens, presided over the sacred bonds of marriage, the warmth of families, and the unwavering strength of loyalty. Beside Zeus, she watched over the human realm with unwavering vigilance, her heart fiercely guarding the bonds of couples and families. Yet within her elegant demeanor, Hera frequently battled with envy, particularly because of Zeus' numerous escapades, which stirred constant turmoil in their celestial abode. Demeter, with her nurturing spirit, embraced the role of guardian over agriculture and the bountiful fertility of the earth. It was she who wove the tapestry of growth and transformation, her presence vital for the very essence of life itself. In the heart of ancient gatherings, they honored her with vibrant festivals, such as the Eleusinian Mysteries, a celebration of the eternal dance of life and rebirth. In a world where shadows danced and whispers lingered, Hestia emerged a gentle spirit who embraced the warmth of the home and the flickering flames of the hearth, becoming its devoted protector. Apollo, a figure of brilliance and skill, ascended to the heights as the deity of the sun, music, healing, and prophecy. Every dawn, he guided his radiant golden chariot through the heavens, bestowing light and warmth upon the earth. The melodies of Apollo, played on his shimmering lyre, captivated all who listened, drawing souls from far and wide to his oracle at Delphi, where they sought wisdom and direction. His twin sister Artemis embraced the moon's glow, roaming through the wild and untamed realms. Artemis moved with a wild spirit, traversing the lush forests and towering mountains alongside her loyal deer and enchanting nymph companions. She stood as a guardian of the earth, and its women, offering her aid during the sacred moments of childbirth, yet meting out justice to those who dared to show her disrespect. Artemis's silver bow stood as a testament to both purity and strength. From the gentle caress of ocean foam, Aphrodite emerged a radiant embodiment of love and beauty, gracing the shores near the enchanting island of Cyprus. Her remarkable beauty captivated both divine beings and humans, igniting desire and love in every place she graced. In a union with the talented yet reserved Hephaestus, Aphrodite frequently stirred the pot with her romantic escapades, particularly her clandestine liaison with the fierce god of war Ares. Hephaestus, despite his lameness and the doubts cast upon him, rose to become the most extraordinary craftsman among the gods of Olympus. In the depths of his forge, nestled beneath the towering volcanic mountains, he crafted extraordinary weapons, armor, jewelry, and inventions, pouring his skill and dedication into every creation. In the shadows where the fires of creation flicker, Hephaestus, with his gentle spirit, garnered admiration for his unparalleled skill. As these divine beings settled into their roles, they commenced the intricate weaving of human existence in remarkable ways, shaping the very fabric of life, from the fields we cultivate and the battles we fight to the bonds we forge in love and kinship. United, their intricate and vibrant personalities, along with their interwoven relationships, ignited a multitude of captivating tales. Legends continue to echo through time, revealing the divine's strikingly human imperfections and admirable qualities. These narratives, brimming with excitement and emotion, persist in imparting essential insights about existence, affection, and ethics, weaving the threads of human experience with the celestial realm of Mount Olympus. As the Olympians took their rightful place Upon the majestic heights of Mount Olympus, fresh deities emerged, each stepping into their unique roles, weaving the tapestry of the world beneath them. Among these divine beings was Hermes, the swift and cunning herald of Olympus. Adorned with winged sandals and a traveler's cloak, he traversed the realms of heaven, earth, and the underworld with remarkable speed, carrying messages and leading souls to their ultimate destinations. With a reputation for wit and charisma, Hermes held the esteemed role of the deity overseeing trade and journeys. In a tale of mischief and cleverness, he famously pilfered Apollo's cattle as a spirited infant, revealing his cunning nature from the very beginning. In a twist of fate, Hermes, ever the clever one, turned a moment of trouble into an opportunity for harmony. With a beautifully crafted lyre in hand, he approached Apollo, and in an instant, the tension melted away, paving the way for forgiveness and a newfound bond of friendship. In the midst of it all stood Ares, the formidable and dreaded deity of battle. In contrast to Athena, who embraced the art of strategy and meticulous planning, Ares thrived in the realm of chaos driven by fervor and raw power. He embodied the stark reality of conflict, revealing that it could be violent, chaotic, and inescapable. The other deities frequently struggled to engage with him, particularly due to his fiery temperament and passion for conflict. Even so, Ares commanded profound respect among warriors who turned to him in prayer for courage and triumph, recognizing that he personified the fierce, unyielding essence of battle itself. In stark contrast to the fierce intensity of Ares, there was Dionysus, the vibrant and whimsical god of wine revelry and unrestrained joy. He whisked people away to escape their burdens and discover joy, if only for a fleeting evening. Dionysus journeyed far and wide, sharing the secrets of grape cultivation and winemaking, igniting exuberant celebrations brimming with dance song and joy. Yet Dionysus embodied far more than merely the essence of revelry. He embodied the essence of transformation and fresh beginnings. His followers felt that immersing themselves in joyous celebration allowed them to rediscover the divine and uncover profound significance in their lives. United, these fresh Olympian deities formed a rich tapestry of kinship, embodying every facet of human existence, both the light and the shadow, the sage and the naive. They frequently behaved much like individuals, filled with deep emotions and intricate connections. In the realm of gods, Zeus reigned supreme, a figure of immense strength, yet undeniably flawed. His numerous romantic escapades frequently stirred up drama and disputes among the divine beings of Olympus. Hera, a devoted guardian of marriage and family, wielded her fierce protection with unwavering strength. Yet her jealousy ignited a tempest of conflicts each time Zeus wandered from their bond. Poseidon, the mighty deity of the sea, commanded both reverence and dread, wielding power over the vast oceans and the tremors of the earth. His temper was as tumultuous as the ocean he commanded, able to conjure serene waters one moment and unleash fearsome tempests the next. Athena, the astute warrior goddess who emerged from Zeus's brow, bestowed her wisdom in the heat of battle and aided humanity in honing their crafts and skills. In the ancient world, Apollo, the divine figure of music and foresight, led humanity on a quest for truth, revealing wisdom through his sacred oracle at Delphi. His twin sister, Artemis, roamed the wild places, a fierce guardian of nature animals, and women, ever watchful over those who honored the delicate balance of the natural world. Aphrodite, the enchanting goddess of love, frequently became the center of intrigue, on Olympus due to her romantic entanglements, especially with Ares. Bound in union with Hephaestus, the skilled and reserved god of craftsmanship, Aphrodite's romantic escapades stirred both tension and fascination among the divine beings. In the depths of his forge beneath Olympus, Hephaestus poured his heart into the creation of magnificent wonders. With each strike of his hammer, he forged powerful weapons and exquisite artifacts, embodying a spirit of resilience that shone brightly even as others overlooked him because of his limp and modest demeanor. In the tapestry of human existence, these divine beings wove themselves into the very fabric of daily life, as cities embraced particular deities to revere and celebrate. In the heart of Athens, magnificent temples rose in honor of Athena, the goddess who bestowed upon them the olive tree, a timeless emblem of wisdom and prosperity. In Sparta, the might of Ares was hailed with fervor, a testament to their indomitable military prowess. Meanwhile, in Corinth, the enchanting allure of Aphrodite was honored through vibrant festivals and sacred rituals, a celebration of beauty that captivated the hearts of all. In every corner of the world, individuals turned their hearts to the heavens, making offerings and seeking the blessings of the divine as they navigated the tapestry of their everyday existence. Under Zeus's reign, there emerged a profound sense of justice and morality that resonated throughout the realms. Narratives frequently imparted significant morals, chastising the proud while celebrating the humble and respectful. The tale of Apollo's conquest over the fearsome python at Delphi reveals the essence of overcoming darkness, while the escapades of Dionysus illuminate the exhilarating yet perilous dance of surrendering to life's delights. Artemis stood as a guardian of wildlife, imparting wisdom about the reverence owed to the natural world and its fragile equilibrium. Yet the realm of Olympus was forever steeped in turmoil. The bonds Aphrodite forged stirred a tempest within Hephaestus, who frequently found himself ensnared in feelings of embarrassment and sorrow over her unfaithfulness. Hera's unyielding fury over Zeus's betrayals sparked a tale of vengeance and turmoil, echoing through the heights of Olympus and the lives of mortals below. Apollo and Artemis stood valiantly by their mother Leto, confronting Hera's jealousy, which ignited further conflicts. Amidst their countless disputes, the divine beings recognized the undeniable truth of their interdependence. In the heart of their bond, they understood that it was their shared strength and unwavering unity that maintained the delicate equilibrium of the world. Though he had his flaws, Zeus was often seen as a sagacious and just ruler whose choices resonated through the realms of both gods and mortals. In a time of reverence, the mighty Zeus was held in high esteem, inspiring grand festivals such as the Olympic Games in his honor. Meanwhile, the sacred Eleusinian mysteries celebrated Demeter, imparting profound lessons about the essence of life. In the end, the rise of Olympus transcended mere legend. It molded the Greeks' perception of their universe and their role within it. The divine mirrored the essence of humanity, its joys, its battles, its aspirations, and its deepest anxieties. Through the ages, tales woven with care illuminated the paths of right and wrong, the dance of life and death, and the spectrum of joy and sorrow. The Olympian family transcended time, their narratives captivating and significant, eternally imprinted in the fabric of human imagination. Once the Olympians had made their magnificent abode atop Mount Olympus their own, they gazed down upon the realm beneath a land yearning for souls to nurture and cherish it. Among all the mighty deities, one shone brightly, harboring a special affection for these destined mortals. Prometheus, the sagacious and kind Titan, celebrated for his empathy and ingenuity. His tale would eternally intertwine with the dawn of humanity, illuminating the reasons our existence, even in this moment, is rich with struggle, resilience, and hope. In the days of yore, when the earth was still in its infancy, and pure Zeus entrusted Prometheus and his brother Epimetheus with a monumental duty to populate the world with vibrant beings of all kinds. Epimetheus, filled with enthusiasm, rushed to lend a hand, yet his nature was one of spontaneity, often leaping into action without the foresight that his cautious brother possessed. With great enthusiasm, he began bestowing gifts upon each and every creature in the forest. Some possess great strength, while others are swift, equipped with sharp teeth, cloaked in thick fur, or adorned with wings. Yet, in his haste, Epimetheus overlooked the future, and before he realized it, he had bestowed all the virtues, leaving humanity with naught but emptiness. Observing the error made by his brother Prometheus, took it upon himself to intervene. With meticulous hands, he blended clay and water, crafting each human figure with profound attention and artistry. With a tender touch, he crafted the first humans, shaping them with care until they mirrored the divine, exquisitely formed, delicate, yet brimming with promise. From the depths of his being, Prometheus infused them with a flicker of celestial essence, bestowing upon them a unique brilliance brimming with potential, destined for greatness, even amidst their fragility. Yet the journey of these early beings was fraught with challenges. They possessed neither sharp claws nor thick fur to shield them from the cold, nor did they boast great strength. In the biting chill, they trembled, haunted by the lurking shadows of wild beasts drawing close to one another, exposed to the encroaching night and the fury of the tempest. Prometheus observed their trials and was filled with profound sadness. He understood they were in search of a force, a catalyst that would empower them to endure and forge a brighter future. In the realm of humanity, there existed a singular necessity: fire. Yet this precious element was deemed sacred, fiercely guarded by Zeus himself, and exclusively bestowed upon the divine beings. In the depths of his wisdom, Zeus foresaw that if mortals were to harness the flame, they would blossom into beings of strength, creativity, and autonomy, potentially rising to a stature that could rival the divine. In a twist of fate, Zeus chose to withhold the gift, seeking to bind humanity in eternal reliance. Yet Prometheus, with a heart full of compassion, could no longer bear the sight of human anguish. On a fateful night, he stealthily made his way to Olympus, evading the vigilant gaze of the other deities. With great care, he plucked a tiny ember from the sacred hearth and nestled it within the protective embrace of a hollow fennel stalk. With a quiet determination, he slipped away, cradling the cherished offering as he descended to the world of the humans below. As the flames danced before their eyes for the very first time, the onlookers were captivated, their hearts filled with awe and fascination. This radiant, flickering light transformed it all. It wrapped them in warmth, cradled them in safety, offered them nourishing meals, and inspired them to create, innovate, and envision their dreams. The flame ignited the very essence of their burgeoning society, yet the wrath of Zeus knew no bounds upon discovering Prometheus's audacious act of thievery. Furious at this treachery, Zeus condemned the kind Titan to a dreadful fate. He bound Prometheus to a desolate, craggy peak in the far-off Caucasus, where every day a colossal eagle would descend, feasting upon Prometheus's liver. Each night, the liver would mend only for the eagle to swoop back and inflict the agony once more. In the face of relentless torment, Prometheus stood, unwavering his heart, steadfast in the conviction of his choice. He embraced his fate with grace, embodying the essence of bravery, compassion, and selflessness for all time. But the fury of Zeus was far from over. He sought to etch the frailty of humanity into their memories, a reminder of their rightful position in the grand tapestry of existence. With a cunning mind, Zeus crafted a scheme, both shrewd and merciless, designed to awaken in them a stark awareness of their fragility. He commanded the master craftsman, Hephaestus, to shape the first woman from the earth itself. Once upon a time, there lived a woman named Pandora. She possessed a breathtaking beauty, a gentle kindness, an elegant grace, and an allure that was simply impossible to resist. From the hands of the divine, she received an array of splendid treasures. The goddess of love bestowed upon her a captivating charm. The messenger of the gods gifted her with sharp cleverness, and the goddess of wisdom adorned her with grace and insight. Yet Zeus included an additional element, a locked box brimming with hidden troubles and sorrows, though Pandora remained blissfully unaware of the mysteries contained within. In a twist of fate, Pandora arrived at the doorstep of Prometheus, who with open arms and a heart full of hope welcomed her as his bride, blissfully disregarding the cautionary words of Prometheus regarding the gifts bestowed by Zeus. Pandora, her heart racing with intrigue, found it increasingly difficult to hold back the urge to unveil the secrets hidden within the enigmatic box. At last, her curiosity became too great to resist. She lifted the lid, just a fraction. In an instant, a torrent of woes surged forth. From the shadows emerged sickness, sadness, war-famine, envy, and anger, swiftly weaving their way into the fabric of humanity. With a heart racing and breath caught in her throat, Pandora swiftly closed the box, sealing away the one invaluable treasure that remained hope. In the tapestry of human existence, where shadows of suffering and hardship loom large, a flicker of hope lingers patiently poised to provide solace and fortitude even amidst the bleakest of moments. As humanity embarked on the journey of life following the fateful release of Pandora's renowned box, they traversed through a tapestry of distinct ages, each woven with the threads of mortal existence and their intricate dance with the divine. These eras unveiled the intricate tapestry of human experience, weaving together moments of serene unity and tumultuous strife, valor, and anguish. Every era unfolded its own tale, imparting wisdom that would steer humanity across the ages. In the beginning, there was the Golden Age, a time shrouded in legend, where tranquility and happiness reigned supreme. In the serene era of Cronus, humanity thrived in a world free from fear, hunger, and suffering. In a realm of abundance, the inhabitants lived free from hardship and labor. From the branches of trees, fruit hung in abundance, rivers danced with clarity, and the earth generously shared its treasures. In a world where harmony reigned, humanity thrived in blissful ease, their days filled with joy, free from the shadows of sorrow or the grip of illness. Death unfolded like a soft whisper, a serene transition into a tranquil eternity. As their earthly journeys came to a close, these blessed beings transformed into kind-hearted spirits, ever vigilant in their watch over humanity, offering silent guidance and protection to those who tread the path behind them. But as with all tales, the winds of change swept in, heralding the arrival of the Silver Age. This time heralded the transition from unblemished purity to a tapestry woven with complexity. From the heights of Olympus, Zeus reigned supreme, while down below, the mortals started to lose sight of their sacred obligations to the divine. They became heedless and unappreciative, forgetting to make offerings or pay tribute to the celestial forces that had bestowed upon them such abundance. Though their lives remained comfortable, they became ensnared in a web of selfishness, casting aside the cherished traditions of old. Zeus, witnessing their disregard, felt a profound sense of disappointment wash over him. With a sudden flourish, he brought the Silver Age to a close, imparting a vital lesson to humanity about the essence of gratitude. In this age, the souls, though they ascended to become honored spirits, remained forever cast in the shadow of their illustrious ancestors from the Golden Age. Their legacy, a poignant reminder of their inability to fully embrace the gifts of the divine, lingered like a haunting echo through time. From this disappointment arose the Bronze Age, a time marked by a fervent focus on war power and strife. In a time long past, humans unearthed the art of forging bronze into formidable weapons and protective armor. Yet rather than wielding these newfound skills for noble causes, they chose to channel their talents into a relentless cycle of conflict. In this realm, chaos reigned supreme, and the might of one's arm dictated their value in the eyes of all. In a world where tranquility was once cherished, the shadows of conflict emerged, casting aside the warmth of kindness in favor of the cold grip of hostility. In a world where societies erected formidable walls and summoned mighty armies, the relentless struggle for supremacy unfolded in a tapestry of conflict. In a tragic twist of fate, their unyielding quest for dominance led to their own demise as humanity ultimately turned against itself in a cycle of ceaseless strife. In stark contrast to those who came before, these souls bequeathed no enduring shield of knowledge or guidance, but rather a somber tale of the perils that arise from unbridled hostility. Yet following this tumultuous time of conflict emerged a remarkable chapter: the legendary Age of Heroes. In a time unlike any other, remarkable figures emerged their daring and valor-weaving tales that would echo through the ages. Legendary figures such as Hercules, renowned for his 12 daunting tasks. In the heart of the Trojan War stood Achilles, a figure of unmatched bravery and formidable power. Once upon a time, there was a brave hero named Perseus who triumphed over the fearsome Medusa and brought salvation to entire kingdoms. And Odysseus, who embarked on extraordinary voyages brimming with thrilling escapades, fearsome creatures, and enchanting wonders, ascended to greatness. These champions not only endured, they triumphed against insurmountable challenges, confronted fearsome beasts, defied deities, and embarked on legendary quests that would echo through the ages. In contrast to the ancients, numerous valiant heroes who met their end with bravery have discovered everlasting tranquility in the Elysian fields, a celestial realm set aside for those who embodied valor and integrity. In this realm, they reveled in an eternity filled with joy and honor, eternally celebrated as brilliant embodiments of what humanity can achieve. At last, we have entered the Iron Age, a formidable chapter in the saga of human existence. In contrast to earlier times filled with plenty and valor, the Iron Age unfolds as a challenging chapter. Life unfolds with its share of challenges, trials, and the unknown. Individuals toil diligently, frequently facing meager returns. In the tapestry of life, threads of conflict, injustice, greed, and deceit weave a narrative that many know all too well. In the face of adversity, humanity presses on, clinging to hope, the precious gift that Pandora chose to leave behind in her box. In this era, the divine presence feels far removed, seldom stepping into the affairs of mortals. Humans often lean on their inner strength and tenacity, inspired by the courageous offering of fire from Prometheus, a symbol of the creativity, cleverness, and resolve that embodies the essence of humanity. In the face of life's daunting challenges, individuals in this era persistently seek to enhance their circumstances, create new possibilities, and uphold a spirit of fairness and kindness. United, these 5 epics weave a complex narrative of humanity's odyssey, illuminating our aspirations and our flaws. Prometheus embodies bravery and rebellion, a testament to the spirit of human creativity and the relentless pursuit of progress, regardless of the sacrifices involved. His compassion embodies the limitless essence of human creativity and strength in the face of adversity. In a different light, the tale of Pandora embodies the intricate nature of humanity, highlighting the delicate balance between curiosity and its repercussions, as well as the interplay of struggle and optimism. It reveals that although suffering is an inescapable part of life, hope stands as a formidable beacon, leading humanity through the bleakest of moments. Every era imparts its own distinct wisdom. The Golden Age beckons us to cherish the essence of harmony, the beauty of simplicity, and the warmth of kindness. The Silver Age serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the perils of arrogance, neglect, and ingratitude towards those who extend their hands in assistance. In the annals of history, the Bronze Age unfolds as a poignant narrative revealing the dire repercussions of violence, unchecked ambition, and the relentless pursuit. The Age of Heroes ignites the spirit of bravery, valor, and the relentless quest for greatness, revealing how individuals can ascend to remarkable heights through their courage and unwavering integrity. In the end, the Iron Age paints a vivid picture of human existence filled with intricacies, challenges, and ethical dilemmas, yet it also showcases the strength, flexibility, and optimism that define our journey. In the distant echoes of time, when Zeus and his kin claimed their majestic thrones upon Olympus, the realm beneath stirred to life, blossoming with humans, animals, and enigmatic beings of wonder. Yet before long, Zeus observed that humanity was succumbing to greed, cruelty, and a growing disrespect for the divine. In a fit of rage, he resolved to begin anew, to cleanse the earth with a mighty deluge. But Zeus, with a heart still tethered to humanity, could not bear the thought of erasing them all. He recalled 2 gentle souls, Deucalion and his beloved wife Pyrrha, who continued to revere the gods and extend kindness to those around them. Deucalion, the offspring of Prometheus, the ingenious Titan who sculpted humanity from clay and bestowed upon them the invaluable secret of fire. In a time long past, there lived Pyrrha, the kind-hearted and insightful daughter of Epimetheus, who was the brother of Prometheus and Pandora, the woman whose fateful curiosity had once led her to open a mysterious box, releasing chaos into the world. In a world woven with complexity, Deucalion and Pyrrha stood out as beacons of thoughtfulness, honesty, and kindness. Their names echoed across the lands, celebrated for their humility and profound respect for the divine. They were the ideal candidates to endure the looming fury of Zeus. High upon a desolate mountaintop, Prometheus remained bound, a silent witness to the unfolding drama of the heavens. As the sky deepened into shadows, he sensed the brewing storm of Zeus's wrath, a foreboding whisper of the divine machinations at play. In a moment of sheer desperation, Prometheus sought a hidden path to convey his urgent warning to Deucalion, imploring him to ready himself without delay for the trials ahead. With unwavering faith in his father's wisdom, Deucalion eagerly began his task. Crafting a grand wooden chest, it was more than merely a vessel. It stood strong, securely sea-sealed, and meticulously built to endure the wrath that Zeus was poised to unleash. With unwavering determination, he labored day and night, fully aware that the chest held their sole chance for survival, both for himself and for Pyrrha. Before long, ominous storm clouds gathered, shrouding the sun in their shadow. A mighty crack of thunder echoed through the vast expanse of the sky. With a brilliant flash, lightning illuminated the sky, and soon the rain began to pour down. What began as a typical day soon transformed as the rain began to fall, with an unrelenting fervor cascading from the heavens in a relentless torrent. Rivers swelled beyond their confines, lakes spilled over their edges, and the ocean surged with a fierce determination, engulfing whole towns, vast forests, and ultimately, even the mightiest of mountains. Regardless of the paths they chose to flee, safety remained an elusive dream. Amidst the chaos of the relentless storm, it was only Deucalion and Pyrrha who remained cradled within their wooden chest, navigating the tumultuous waves of the boundless sea. At long last, after 9 grueling days, the relentless rain began to soften its grip, and gradually the floodwaters started to withdraw, revealing the land beneath. At last, their chest found its final repose upon the serene, lofty summits of Mount Parnassus. As they emerged into the world, Deucalion and Pyrrha looked around, their hearts heavy with disbelief and grief. In a realm where silence reigned supreme, the world lay still and desolate, shrouded in a blanket of mud and debris. The only sound that dared to break the stillness was the gentle drip of water echoing through the emptiness. With hearts pounding and hope dwindling, they cried out into the void, yearning for a response that never came. In that moment, a profound understanding washed over them. They were indeed the final remnants of humanity, the last 2 souls wandering a silent world. In the depths of their sorrow, Deucalion and Pyrrha found themselves adrift, grappling with the weight of their solitude and the uncertainty of the path ahead. They understood that the path to rebuilding humanity required a guiding hand, a beacon to light their way. As they journeyed down the mountain, their path led them to a revered place, the Temple of Themis, where the wise goddess of justice and prophecy awaited. Kneeling with reverence before her altar, they implored for guidance on how to breathe life back into the desolate world. Themis, touched by their heartfelt request, responded with an enigmatic command: cast aside the remnants of your mother. In the beginning, Deucalion and Pyrrha found themselves gripped by terror. They found it unimaginable to disturb their mother's resting place. It carried an air of injustice and a lack of reverence. In a haze of uncertainty, they lingered side by side, lost in thought, as they contemplated the oracle's enigmatic utterances. In an instant, a spark of realization ignited in Deucalion's eyes. In that moment, he understood that the goddess had woven a riddle into their fate. The mother she spoke of was not their biological mothers. It was the very essence of Mother Earth. The bones she described were not bones in the traditional sense, but rather stones strewn across the vast landscape surrounding them. With a sense of relief and a glimmer of hope, they rose to their feet and started gathering stones from the earth beneath them. In a hushed moment of respect, they each stepped forward, casting the stones over their shoulders, with a delicate grace following the sacred guidance of the goddess. With every stone that kissed the ground, a remarkable transformation unfolded. The stones stirred and morphed right before their gaze, evolving from cold, unfeeling rock into warm, vibrant human figures. As Deucalion cast his stones, they transformed into robust, resilient men, while the stones that Pyrrha released blossomed into kind, nurturing women. Before them, a fresh wave of humanity emerged, eyes wide with awe at the transformed world that unfolded around them. Deucalion and Pyrrha emerged as the wise guardians of this new humanity, imparting lessons of kindness, respect, and humility to all who would listen. With their nurturing touch, the world flourished anew, as vibrant communities, thriving farms, and loving families breathed life back into the desolate lands. As the sands of time flowed, these beings of stone would venture forth, establishing villages, towns, and ultimately grand civilizations, forever holding close the teachings of humility and kindness that emerged from the Great Flood. As humanity found its footing once more, enigmatic beings began to surface throughout the realms of land and sea. Some were warm and welcoming, while others instilled fear, yet each contributed to the tapestry of awe and peril in the realm of humanity. Among these remarkable beings was the Cyclops, a colossal giant distinguished by the enormous eye that sat prominently in the center of its forehead. Yet not every Cyclops shared the same tale. Among them were artisans of unparalleled skill, their intelligence shining through, as they forged mighty weapons destined for the very hands of the gods. In the realm of the Cyclopes, three remarkable figures stood out: Brontes, Steropes, and Argus. With their incredible craftsmanship, they shaped Zeus's formidable lightning bolts, Poseidon's powerful trident, and Hades's cloak of invisibility. In the depths of the earth, the mighty yet tender Cyclopes toiled away, lending their strength to the Olympians as they governed the realms above. Yet there existed others among them, untamed and formidable, thriving in the shadows, shunning the presence of both deities and mortals, dwelling in the depths of dark caves nestled within the mountains. In a land where the wild roamed free, these formidable Cyclopes tended to their sprawling flocks of sheep, standing guard with unwavering resolve against any who dared to encroach upon their cherished herds. Among the most notorious of these untamed giants was Polyphemus, a colossal being who resided in solitude on a remote island. Polyphemus loomed large and fearsome, a giant capable of shattering boulders as if they were mere pebbles. In a twist of fate, the tale of Odysseus took a remarkable turn as he unwittingly found himself in the depths of a cave, a hidden realm that awaited his return from the epic Trojan War. In a dark and foreboding cave, Polyphemus ensnared Odysseus and his brave crew, sealing their fate behind a colossal stone that barred their escape. In a moment of sheer desperation, Odysseus, with cunning and bravery, plunged a sharp, searing stake into the giant's solitary eye, rendering him blind and paving the way for his escape. With a thunderous roar, Polyphemus writhed in agony, desperately seeking the hero and his companions. In a clever twist of fate, Odysseus managed to slip away by concealing himself beneath the woolly backs of Polyphemus's sheep, outsmarting the enraged and sightless Cyclopes, who unwittingly granted them their freedom. In this era, another formidable assembly of entities that traversed the earth were known as the Giants. Emerging from the very essence of Gaia, these colossal and fierce beings possessed the might to tremble mountains and cleave the ground beneath their powerful strides. They were formidable fighters, ever ready to confront even the deities themselves. In time, their yearning to challenge the Olympians ignited a legendary conflict known as the Gigantomachy. In this epic clash, deities and champions stood side by side, each playing their part in a tale of valor and destiny. With a crack of thunder, Zeus unleashed his lightning bolts, while Athena stood resolute, her shield and spear gleaming in the light. Apollo, the radiant archer, let loose arrows that blazed like the sun, and there, amidst the divine, fought Hercules, the valiant mortal, his spirit unyielding. In a clash of titans, the giants unleashed their wrath, casting colossal boulders and tearing the very earth asunder. Every clash resonated through the skies, and the ground trembling the very bedrock of existence. At long last, after a grueling and arduous battle, the mighty Olympian gods, with the valiant support of Hercules, triumphed over these formidable foes. In the depths of the earth, where shadows dance and whispers echo, mighty giants lay confined, ensnared beneath the towering volcanic peaks. Their restless thrashing, a tale of ancient fury, was believed to stir the very ground, unleashing tremors and fiery eruptions that would resonate through the ages. In the shadows of ancient Greece, there existed Medusa, a figure both feared and shrouded in mystery, captivating the imaginations of all who spoke her name. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young woman named Medusa, whose lovely hair and graceful appearance captivated the hearts of many. Alas, her beauty drew the gaze of those who sought to intrude. In the depths of myth, Poseidon, the mighty god of the sea, sought her out, ultimately facing her within the hallowed halls of Athena's sacred temple. In a fit of rage over the violation of her sacred space, Athena unleashed her wrath upon Medusa, turning her once enchanting beauty into a fearsome curse. Once, Medusa's delicate locks transformed into a chaotic tangle of serpents, her once kind gaze morphed into a lethal force. Those who met her eyes were swiftly condemned to an eternal stony silence. Haunted by her own strength and cast aside by society, Medusa sought refuge in a distant land, enveloped in solitude and resentment shrouded in shadows. Countless brave souls ventured forth only to meet their fate at her hands, transformed in an instant into stone, joining the eerie assembly of figures that adorned her desolate sanctuary. At long last, Perseus emerged resolute in his quest to triumph where many had stumbled before him. Under the watchful eye of Athena, who sought to bring an end to Medusa's long-standing curse, Perseus advanced with caution, wielding a gleaming bronze shield as a mirror to evade the lethal stare that could turn him to stone. With deft precision, he triumphed, delivering the final strike that brought an end to Medusa's sorrowful tale. With the severed head safely tucked away in a protective bag, Perseus embarked on his journeys wielding its power to vanquish foes that crossed his path. In a distant land on the enchanting island of Crete, there resided a chilling being, the Minotaur, a formidable creature that was both man and beast, a fusion of human and bull. Once upon a time, a curse befell King Minos of Crete, giving rise to the legendary Minotaur. In a tale woven with magic and misfortune, the queen Pasiphae succumbed to a powerful spell, resulting in the birth of a creature both terrifying and extraordinary. Filled with dread and a deep sense of shame, Minos turned to Daedalus, a masterful inventor and artisan, for assistance. In a time long past, Daedalus crafted a colossal maze known as the Labyrinth, a bewildering web of passages and corridors designed to ensnare the unwary, where he imprisoned the fearsome Minotaur. Once upon a time, in a realm ruled by King Minos, a dark tradition unfolded. Each year, the city of Athens was compelled to send forth 14 brave souls, 7 young men and 7 young women offered as a sacrifice to satiate the hunger of the fearsome Minotaur. For many moons, this chilling homage persisted, until at last, a valiant young prince from Athens known as Theseus stepped forward to confront the beast on his own. As Theseus set foot on the enchanting shores of Crete, he encountered the captivating Ariadne, the beloved daughter of King Minos, who was instantly smitten by his presence. Ariadne, with a heart full of courage, chose to aid Theseus by bestowing upon him a ball of thread, a guiding light to navigate his way back through the twisting paths of the labyrinth after facing the fearsome beast. With unwavering bravery and the precious gift from Ariadne, Theseus stepped into the shadowy labyrinth where he faced the fearsome Minotaur. In a fierce battle, he triumphed, putting an end to the brutal sacrifices for good. In the shadowy realms of ancient Greece, there lurked a fearsome creature known as the Hydra, a colossal serpent adorned with numerous heads, each one brimming with deadly fangs ready to strike. In the shadowy depths of the swamps close to Lerna, the Hydra reigned supreme, fiercely protecting its domain. With a chilling prowess, the creature possessed a nightmarish trait. Each time one of its heads was severed, 2 more would sprout forth in its stead, rendering it an enigma of mortality. Thus, the Hydra emerged as a fearsome creature, dreaded by all who dwelled in its vicinity. In time, the valiant Hercules found himself faced with the daunting challenge of vanquishing the fearsome Hydra, a formidable foe among the 12 labors imposed upon him as a consequence of his actions. Understanding the challenge before him, Hercules sought the aid of his resourceful nephew, Iolaus. In the midst of the fierce battle, Hercules wielded his sword with precision, severing one of the Hydra's heads. Without a moment's hesitation, Iolaus sprang into action, brandishing a flaming torch to sear the stump, thwarting the monster's ability to regenerate its fearsome heads. With unwavering strength and cleverness, Hercules and Iolaus triumphed over the dreaded Hydra, restoring safety to the swamps once more. At long last, the final beast to torment humankind in this age was the fearsome Chimera. Behold the fearsome creature, a majestic lion's body, crowned with a regal head, while from its back springs forth the fierce visage of a goat, and trailing behind is the sinuous form of a serpent ready to strike. It unleashed searing fire, laying waste to villages and spreading dread throughout the land. None among the warriors would confront it until the courageous young hero Bellerophon arrived on the scene. With the divine guidance of Athena Bellerophon, skillfully tamed the majestic winged horse Pegasus and crafted a bold and audacious plan. With the wind in his hair, he galloped on Pegasus, ascending to the heavens, evading the Chimera's blazing assaults, well out of the grasp of its searing flames and menacing claws. In this moment, Bellerophon unleashed a flurry of strikes upon the beast, deftly maneuvering with agility and sharp wit to evade danger. In the wake of a tumultuous clash, the mighty Chimera succumbed, at last vanquished, and tranquility once more graced the realms it had long tormented. In the annals of ancient tales, one of the most renowned heroes emerged Perseus. His remarkable saga commenced well before he drew his first breath, sparked by a prophecy whispered to his grandfather, King Acrisius of Argos. Once upon a time, Acrisius received a foreboding message from the oracle at Delphi, foretelling that his own grandson would ultimately bring about his ruin. In a moment of sheer terror and unwavering resolve, Acrisius confined his beloved daughter Danae within the strong embrace of a bronze tower, hoping to shield her from a destiny he feared would lead to offspring. Yet not even the mightiest locks, nor the sturdiest walls, could deter Zeus, who from his lofty throne on Olympus beheld the exquisite beauty and tender spirit of Danae. In a dazzling display, Zeus transformed into a cascade of shimmering golden rain, weaving through the cracks of the tower and illuminating the shadowy room with a gentle, inviting light. From this enchanting encounter, Perseus came into being, fated from the very beginning for extraordinary deeds. Upon learning that Danae had brought forth a child, despite his stringent measures, Acrisius erupted in fury, certain that the ominous prophecy was unfolding before his very eyes. In a moment of desperation, fearing the wrath of the gods should he harm his own flesh and blood, he chose a different path. With a heavy heart, he placed his daughter and her child within a strong wooden chest, casting it into the tumultuous sea, praying that the merciless waves would take them far from his sight, never to return. With a watchful eye, Zeus oversaw their journey, ensuring the chest found its way to the tranquil shores of the small island of Seriphos. In a quiet coastal village, a gentle and unassuming fisherman named Dictys stumbled upon two souls cast upon the sands of fate. With a heart full of compassion, he welcomed Danae and Perseus into his humble home, nurturing the boy with love and wisdom, instilling in him the virtues of bravery, modesty, and resilience. But the tranquility of their existence was destined to be fleeting. Dictys had a brother Polydectes, a king of great power and cunning on the island. It wasn't long before he laid eyes on Danae's extraordinary beauty, igniting a desire within him to claim her for himself. Polydectes, fully aware of Perseus's unwavering devotion to his mother, concocted a cunning scheme to eliminate the young champion. In a clever ruse, Polydectes feigned a wedding to another woman, orchestrating a lavish celebration that compelled each guest to present him with opulent gifts. Perseus, filled with pride, yet lacking in riches, possessed nothing to give. Before the gathered throng, the king ridiculed him, stirring Perseus to make a rash vow to deliver whatever the king wished, even that which seemed unattainable. With a sly grin, Polydectes called for the head of Medusa, fully aware that no man had ever returned alive from confronting her. Though Perseus possessed great courage, he understood that the journey ahead was insurmountable without the aid of others. By a stroke of fate, divine forces had already decided to shield him. In a shimmering vision, the wise Athena, goddess of wisdom, graced Perseus with her presence. With a heart full of disdain, she loathed Medusa, a figure who had wronged her in the past, and with fervor, she joined forces with Perseus on his noble quest. Athena bestowed upon him a gleaming bronze shield, so radiant and reflective that it served as a mirror safeguarding Perseus from the lethal stare of Medusa. In a tale of divine intervention, Hermes, the swift messenger of the gods, bestowed upon Perseus a sword so sharp it could cut through the very fabric of reality, along with winged sandals that granted him the power to soar gracefully above the earth. Perseus was instructed to seek out the enigmatic Gaia, three timeless sisters bound by a single eye and tooth, to unveil the secret whereabouts of Medusa's concealed cave. Obeying their guidance, Perseus soared rapidly through the heavens until he arrived at the desolate and far-off dwelling of the Gaia. In a realm shrouded in shadows, three ancient sisters dwelled forever, exchanging their singular eye and tooth, a bond forged in the depths of obscurity. With a cunning mind, Perseus bided his time until the eye was in transit, then swiftly seized it, rendering the sisters powerless and in a state of panic. With desperation in their voices, they implored Perseus to restore their cherished eye, and he vowed to comply, but only if they would disclose the secret path to Medusa's concealed dwelling. With no choice but to comply, they hesitantly provided him with precise directions. True to his promise, Perseus returned their eye and swiftly made his way to his ultimate destination. With a heart racing like a drum, Perseus stepped into Medusa's lair, a shadowy and foreboding cave encircled by stone statues, each one a testament to her lethal gaze. With cautious steps, he entered the chamber, wielding the gleaming shield gifted by Athena, ensuring he never dared to meet the gaze of Medusa's fearsome visage. With each cautious step, he drew nearer, his heart racing with a blend of trepidation and exhilaration. In a climactic instant, he unleashed his blade with fierce determination, deftly severing Medusa's head from her shoulders. From her blood emerged the magnificent winged horse Pegasus, who instantly took flight toward the celestial skies. With swift hands, Perseus secured Medusa's head within a magical bag bestowed upon him by Athena, a vessel designed to contain its lethal essence. Having fulfilled his quest, Perseus began his journey back. Yet the tale was only just unfolding. Soaring over faraway lands, he beheld a stunning princess named Andromeda, bound in despair to a rugged cliff by the ocean's edge. Andromeda found herself abandoned, a victim of fate cast aside as a sacrifice due to her mother's prideful claim of surpassing the beauty of the sea nymphs. In a fit of rage over the affront, Poseidon unleashed a terrifying sea monster upon the kingdom, intent on wreaking havoc and chaos. In that very moment, a spark ignited within Perseus, compelling him to lend his aid. With a daring leap from the heavens, he confronted the fearsome beast directly. In a climactic instant, Perseus deftly revealed Medusa's head, and with that singular act, the fierce creature was transformed into unyielding stone, eternally captured in its ferocious charge. With a heart full of gratitude, Andromeda embraced her newfound freedom, becoming the cherished wife of Perseus as they embarked together on their adventure back home. At long last, Perseus made his way back to Seriphos, only to discover his mother in distress, relentlessly hunted by Polydectes. With a fierce resolve burning in his heart, Perseus strode into the king's throne room, unwavering in his purpose. He unveiled Medusa's head once again, a bold act that echoed with the weight of his determination. In an instant, Polydectes and his merciless followers were transformed into stone, bringing their reign of terror to a definitive close. With a heart full of gratitude, Perseus elevated Dictys, the gentle fisherman, to the throne, ushering in an era of peace and prosperity for the island. At long last, he presented the formidable head of Medusa to Athena, who with great pride placed it upon her shield, a sentinel for the heroes of tomorrow. In the shadows of time, as the echoes of Perseus's remarkable feats faded, a new hero quietly embarked on his own tale, shrouded in mystery. Once upon a time, there was a young hero named Theseus, the beloved son of Aegeus, the noble king of Athens. In his youth, Theseus dwelled in the serene countryside, nurtured by the wisdom and courage of his mother Aethra, far from the bustling city of Athens. Upon reaching adulthood, Theseus's mother unveiled the truth of his noble lineage, urging him to journey to Athens to encounter his father. With unwavering resolve, Theseus set forth on the challenging path by land, undeterred by the ominous tales of its perils. Throughout this adventure, Theseus encountered numerous formidable foes. He triumphed over ruthless bandits that plagued travelers, including the formidable Perfides, famed as the club-bearer, who struck down anyone unfortunate enough to cross his way. With wit and cunning, Theseus triumphed over him, seizing his formidable club. He soon encountered Sinis, a ruthless bandit, known for binding his victims to twisted trees, only to unleash them in a horrific spectacle, tearing them asunder. With courage and cunning, Theseus cleverly outwitted Sinis, turning his own dreadful tactic against him. In due time, he came face to face with the fearsome Crommyonian sow, a savage creature that struck fear into the hearts of entire villages and engaged it in a fierce battle, ultimately emerging victorious. He triumphed over Siren, the one who compelled wanderers to wash his feet before sending them plummeting off a cliff into the depths of the sea, and Procrustes, the cruel figure who mercilessly bound his victims to his bed, stretching or slicing them to achieve a perfect fit. With each battle, Theseus became more formidable and astute, ultimately reaching Athens as a hero already celebrated across Greece. In the heart of Athens, Theseus discovered his father Aegeus, weighed down by a dire pact that cast a shadow over their lives. In the heart of Athens, a grim tradition unfolded each year, as the city was compelled to offer 7 brave young men and 7 spirited young women to the island of Crete. Their fate lay in the hands of the fearsome Minotaur, a creature of legend, part man and part bull, ensnared within the intricate twists and turns of the formidable labyrinth. With unwavering resolve to put an end to the terror, Theseus stepped forward, offering himself for the perilous journey to Crete. He vowed to his father that upon his triumphant return, the sails of his ship would be white, a beacon of victory, instead of the somber black. Upon his arrival in Crete, Theseus swiftly captured the attention of Ariadne, the courageous and compassionate daughter of King Minos. Ariadne, captivated by the bravery of Theseus, resolved to lend him her aid. In hushed tones, she entrusted him with a humble ball of thread, revealing that by unwinding it, as he ventured into the labyrinth, he could trace his way back after conquering the Minotaur. With her guiding light, Theseus boldly ventured into the shadowy, twisting corridors, clutching Ariadne's thread with unwavering resolve. In the heart of the labyrinth, Theseus faced the Minotaur, a colossal beast whose thunderous roar reverberated through the winding passages. A fierce clash erupted, reverberating against the ancient stone as Theseus skillfully evaded the mighty blows from the creature's formidable horns. With deft and deliberate strikes, Theseus gradually subdued the beast, ultimately landing a fateful blow. Having vanquished the Minotaur, Theseus deftly followed the path of Ariadne's thread, guiding his fellow Athenians out of the labyrinth with great care. With a heart full of victory, Theseus escaped the confines of Crete. Ariadne by his side, journeying back to Athens in a blaze of glory. Yet as they approached their destination, fate had other plans, and tragedy loomed on the horizon. In the midst of the thrill, Theseus let slip his vow to hoist the white sails high. From the towering cliffs, King Aegeus gazed upon the ominous black sails, still billowing in the wind, his heart heavy with the belief that his son had met a tragic fate. In a moment of profound sorrow, Aegeus, consumed by his heartache, leaped from the towering cliffs into the depths of the sea below, forever etching his name into the waters that would come to be known as the Aegean Sea, a poignant tribute to the mourning king. Theseus came back a hero marked by sorrow, yet resolute in his quest to pay tribute to his father. He emerged as a ruler of great wisdom and strength, celebrated for his bravery and compassion. Long after his journeys concluded, his tale recounted around fires for generations yet to unfold. In the midst of it all, a remarkable figure stepped forth, a hero like no other, Heracles, commonly referred to as Hercules, the illustrious son of Zeus and the mortal Alcmene. From the very instant he entered the world, Heracles was marked for extraordinary feats. In a clever ruse, Zeus took on the form of Alcmene's beloved husband Amphitryon, and under the veil of night, he shared a moment with her, weaving the threads of destiny that would lead to the birth of Heracles, a child of divine heritage. In the early days of Heracles, when he was but a mere infant, the wrath of Hera, the envious wife of Zeus, sought to extinguish his life. She unleashed two venomous serpents, their scales glistening as they slithered into his crib, certain that the innocent infant would be powerless to defend himself. Even in his youth, the remarkable strength of Heracles began to reveal itself. As Alcmene and Amphitryon burst into the room, their hearts pounding with dread, they were met with an unexpected sight: baby Heracles, giggling joyfully, clutching the lifeless serpents in his tiny hands. As Heracles matured, tales of his unparalleled strength and courage spread far and wide, yet the wrath of Hera lingered on unyielding. Overcome by envy, she wove a wicked enchantment upon Heracles, causing him to momentarily descend into madness. In a chaotic whirlwind, he sorrowfully inflicted pain upon those dearest to him. Upon awakening from the depths of madness, Heracles was struck with a profound sense of devastation as the weight of his actions settled upon him. With unwavering resolve, Heracles journeyed to the Oracle of Delphi, seeking wisdom on how he might seek forgiveness for his past deeds. In a twist of fate, the oracle guided him to the formidable King Eurystheus of Mycenae. Unbeknownst to many, Eurystheus conspired with Hera, crafting a series of 12 daunting challenges, famously known as the 12 Labors, convinced that these trials would spell the end for Heracles. These trials propelled Heracles beyond the bounds of humanity. His inaugural challenge was to conquer the fearsome Nemean lion, a creature adorned with a golden hide so impenetrable that no weapon could breach it. With unwavering courage, Heracles followed the trail of the lion to its lair, ready to face the beast that awaited him. In the midst of a brutal struggle, Heracles came to a profound realization. No blade or javelin could pierce the lion's formidable hide. With unwavering determination, he engaged the colossal creature in a fierce grapple, ultimately triumphing over it with sheer strength and will. With a triumphant spirit, he donned the impenetrable hide, transforming it into a shield of protection for all his days to come. Next, Heracles encountered the fearsome Lernaean Hydra, a colossal serpent-like beast adorned with numerous venomous heads. With each swift cut, as one head fell, two more would defiantly emerge in its stead. With his clever nephew Iolaus by his side, Heracles fought valiantly in a fierce battle. With each decisive strike, Iolaus wielded a burning torch, skillfully cauterizing the wound to thwart the emergence of new heads. At the end of a grueling battle, the final head succumbed, marking the triumphant defeat of the Hydra. In the tale of Heracles, his third labor beckoned him to pursue the elusive and sacred Cyrenean hind, a magnificent deer adorned with golden horns, cherished by the goddess Artemis herself. This creature moved with the grace of a whispering breeze, and for a whole year Heracles pursued it with unwavering determination, navigating the rugged mountains, dense forests, and sprawling valleys. At last he grasped it gently, presenting it with reverence to Eurystheus. Without hesitation, he set it free once more in the wild, garnering the hesitant respect of Artemis for his tender might. Next, Heracles faced the fearsome Erymanthian boar, a colossal creature wreaking havoc on the nearby villages. After an arduous pursuit through the snow-draped peaks, he finally ensnared the ferocious beast, bringing it back in a display of triumph to King Eurystheus, who, upon witnessing the fearsome boar, shrank back in dread, seeking refuge within a bronze jar. In yet another daunting task, Heracles was commanded to tackle the grimy Aegean stables, a place where the waste of countless cattle had accumulated over the years, creating a scene of utter filth. Understanding that sheer force wouldn't suffice, Heracles ingeniously guided two nearby rivers through the stables, cleansing the muck in just one day, leaving all who beheld the feat in awe. Heracles then encountered the fearsome Stymphalian birds, grotesque creatures adorned with iron feathers that they launched like deadly arrows. Athena herself bestowed upon him a remarkable bronze rattle, its sound sending the birds scattering from their concealed spots. With a swift motion, Heracles knocked an arrow to his bowstring, unleashing a flurry of projectiles that pierced the heavens as they took flight. His next challenge was to ensnare the formidable Cretan bull, a powerful creature dispatched by Poseidon as retribution to King Minos. With a mighty struggle, Heracles engaged the bull in a fierce contest, bending its will to his own. He then triumphantly returned it to Eurystheus, who quaked once more at the display of Heracles' formidable power. In the eighth labor, Heracles journeyed to the rugged land of Thrace, where the formidable King Diomedes reigned over a herd of savage, man-eating horses. With unwavering courage, Heracles seized these fearsome beasts, offering their merciless master as a meal, thereby soothing their wild rage in an instant. He returned with them, unharmed, showcasing once more his bravery and wit. Then, Heracles set forth on an adventure to the realm of the Amazons, seeking the legendary belt of their formidable queen Hippolyta. At first, the queen extended her hand in aid, yet Hera, cloaked in deception, sowed seeds of doubt among the Amazons, igniting a fierce clash. With great reluctance, Heracles triumphed over the fierce warriors, seizing the coveted belt and fulfilling his daunting quest. In the 10th labor, Heracles journeyed to the farthest reaches of the west, venturing beyond the boundaries of the known world to capture the cattle belonging to the formidable giant Geryon, a colossal creature adorned with 3 heads and multiple bodies. In the aftermath of a legendary clash, Heracles vanquished Geryon and skillfully guided the wild herd through towering mountains, rushing rivers, and vast seas, returning them home in glorious fashion. His second-to-last challenge was to gather enchanted golden apples from the fabled garden of the Hesperides, a realm fiercely protected by the ever-watchful dragon known as Ladon. After an arduous quest, Heracles skillfully persuaded the formidable Titan Atlas, who bore the weight of the heavens to fetch the apples, while Heracles momentarily shouldered his immense burden. Upon Atlas's return, he turned away from the heavens, unwilling to reclaim his burden. With a clever mind, Heracles outwitted Atlas, compelling him to bear the sky once more, while he seized the treasured apples and made his escape. At long last, Heracles confronted his greatest challenge, venturing into the depths of the underworld to seize Cerberus, the formidable 3-headed sentinel of Hades's domain. With courage and reverence, Heracles drew near to Hades, who granted him the chance to face the trial, but only on the condition that he wielded no weapons. With sheer might as his only ally, Heracles engaged in a fierce struggle with Cerberus, ultimately subduing the fearsome beast. He then guided the creature back to the realm of the living, presenting it to Eurystheus, who was gripped by an overwhelming terror. In the aftermath, Heracles triumphantly brought Cerberus back to the realm of Hades, completing his final and most formidable task. In a realm beyond, a valiant hero named Jason assembled a courageous band of adventurers known as the Argonauts to embark on a quest for the fabled Golden Fleece, a mystical sheepskin concealed across the vast ocean in the faraway land of Colchis. Once upon a time, in the land of Iolcus, a young man named Jason embarked on a quest that would change his fate forever. He was the true heir to the throne, a legacy taken from him by the treacherous hands of his uncle Peleus, whose heart was as cold as the winter's night. Peleus, gripped by the fear of losing his throne, cunningly posed a challenge to Jason to embark on the treacherous journey for the Golden Fleece, all the while harboring the secret hope that Jason would never return from such a daunting adventure. With unwavering resolve and courage, Jason gathered an extraordinary band of adventurers on his vessel, the Argo. Among them were legendary figures of his era, such as the formidable Hercules, the gifted musician Orpheus, the fierce huntress Atalanta, and the sagacious twin brothers Castor and Pollux. Their voyage through unknown waters was fraught with astonishing perils. They barely escaped the perilous sirens, whose chilling melodies could send sailors into madness, their salvation found in the captivating tunes of Orpheus. They encountered the fearsome clashing rocks, towering cliffs that threatened to obliterate any vessel that dared to pass by. With a stroke of brilliance, Jason dispatched a dove ahead, orchestrating their journey with impeccable timing, leading the Argo through the perilous waters at just the right moment. As Jason set foot in Colchis, the challenges that awaited him multiplied, each more daunting than the last. In a realm where power and cunning intertwined, King Asiates devised a series of daunting challenges for Jason, demanding nothing less than the extraordinary in exchange for the coveted Golden Fleece. Yet in the midst of his trials, Jason found an unforeseen companion in Medea, the daughter of Aeetes. This formidable sorceress, was captivated by Jason from the very first glance, her heart entwined with his fate. Medea wielded her enchanting powers to aid Jason in overcoming each formidable trial. With a flick of her wrist, she presented him with a potion imbued with enchantment, a safeguard against the wrath of the fierce fire-breathing bulls he was destined to tame. Upon receiving the command to sow dragon's teeth into the earth, Medea cautioned him that they would rise as fearsome warriors. With her guidance, Jason skillfully orchestrated a scenario where these warriors turned their blades upon each other, leading to their own downfall. At long last, Jason ventured into the hallowed grove where the shimmering golden fleece dangled fiercely, protected by a colossal dragon that remained ever vigilant. Once again, the enchanting prowess of Medea enveloped him, gently coaxing the creature into a tranquil sleep. With a swift motion, Jason grasped the fleece, its radiant golden wool shimmering in the light, and hurriedly made his escape alongside Medea and his loyal crew, racing back to their ship that awaited them. In a tale of daring and adventure, the Argonauts, relentlessly chased by Aeetes, navigated the tumultuous seas and treacherous waters, ultimately triumphing and making their way home as heroes. In the ancient city of Iolcos, Jason boldly seized his rightful throne from the grasp of his uncle Peleus. Even then, his adventures unfolded intricately, weaving the fates of himself, Medea, and all who embarked on their extraordinary journey. The adventures of Perseus, Theseus, Hercules, and Jason transformed into captivating narratives, shared around numerous campfires, igniting excitement and wonder in listeners with their bravery, cleverness, and the constant influence of divine beings. With the passage of time, a fresh era of champions emerged throughout Greece. From the shadows of history, valiant champions emerged, realms collided, and legendary confrontations erupted. In the realm of timeless tales, few resonate as powerfully as the saga of the Trojan War, a brutal 10-year struggle ignited by the passion for a single woman and the honor of formidable rulers. Once upon a time, at a grand wedding feast, the divine beings came together to revel in the union of the valiant hero, Peleus, and the enchanting sea goddess, Thetis. All the deities from Olympus received their invitations, save for Eris, the goddess of discord and strife. It was only natural, given her penchant for causing chaos wherever she went. Seething with resentment at her exclusion, Eris stealthily entered the festivities and sent a golden apple skimming across the floor, its surface etched with the words, "To the fairest." In an instant, the atmosphere thickened with tension. In a realm where divine beings reigned supreme, three formidable goddesses emerged. Hera, the majestic queen of the gods. Athena, the wise and valiant goddess of war. And Aphrodite, the enchanting goddess of love and beauty. Each one, with unwavering conviction, laid claim to a golden apple, convinced that she alone was the fairest of them all. In a moment of profound wisdom, Zeus recognized the peril of selecting between these divine figures and chose not to render judgment in the contest himself. In a twist of fate, he dispatched the three divine beings to a young shepherd prince named Paris, who resided serenely at the foot of Mount Ida, far removed from the vibrant royal court of Troy, where his father, King Priam, held sway. In a distant realm, a young boy named Paris was raised far from the grandeur of the palace, burdened by a prophecy that whispered of his destined role in the city's eventual ruin. In a world untouched by fate, Paris led a humble existence, caring for his flock and strumming melodies under the vast twinkling sky. As Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite graced his presence, he found himself utterly captivated by their beauty and strength. To influence his choice, every goddess presented him with an alluring prize. Hera vowed to bestow upon Paris the might of a ruler, one who would command respect and admiration across countless kingdoms. Athena pledged to bestow upon him unparalleled wisdom and mastery in combat, rendering him invincible in the theater of war. Yet, Aphrodite was aware of the most profound longing that resided within the young prince's heart. She presented to him the affection of the most exquisite woman in existence, a woman whose allure would eclipse all others. In a moment of instinct, Paris made his choice for Aphrodite, unwittingly determining the destiny of countless lives. Ah, there she stood, Helen, the enchanting wife of King Menelaus of Sparta, a figure woven into the very fabric of legend. Her beauty captivated all, drawing the gaze of kings and warriors from every corner of Greece. Not long after Paris made his way to Sparta, where he was greeted with open arms by none other than Menelaus the king himself. Yet, under the enchanting spell of Aphrodite, Helen found herself captivated by Paris the very instant their eyes met. Under the enchanting influence of love, Helen slipped away from Sparta with Paris, embarking on a journey across the sea to Troy, while a furious and heartbroken Menelaus was left in her wake. With unwavering resolve to win back Helen and regain his lost honor, Menelaus sought the counsel of his brother Agamemnon, the mighty king of Mycenae and ruler over all of Greece. Agamemnon, with a heart ablaze for conquest, felt the stirring winds of opportunity beckoning him towards the battlefield, where power and glory awaited his grasp. He summoned every kingdom and warrior within his reach, gathering the mightiest Greek army the world had ever witnessed. From every corner of the Greek lands, valiant heroes heeded his summons, prepared to face the fray. Countless vessels assembled by the coastline, embarking across the Aegean Sea towards the formidable city of Troy. In the realm of legendary warriors, there stood Odysseus, the astute and crafty king of Ithaca, celebrated for his sharp wit and eloquent words. Beside him was Ajax the Greater, a colossal presence whose might was unparalleled. Then there was the valiant Diomedes, whose courage on the battlefield earned him a place in the annals of heroism. Amidst the ranks of formidable warriors, there stood a young hero, Achilles, born of the noble Peleus and the divine Thetis. In the annals of ancient lore, Achilles stood as a paragon of martial prowess, a warrior whose might was unmatched on the battlefield. His mother, in a moment of divine intervention, had immersed him in the hallowed waters of the Styx, bestowing upon him an invulnerability that rendered him nearly indomitable. Yet in the tapestry of his legend, there lay a singular thread of vulnerability, his heel the very point where she had grasped him, a reminder that even the greatest heroes are not without their flaws. As the Greeks set foot near the shores of Troy, a tale of endurance began, marked by a siege that would stretch across a grueling decade. Fierce battles unfolded, with neither side able to seize the upper hand. Achilles emerged as a formidable presence on the battlefield, instilling dread in the hearts of the Trojans. Yet his pride met a fierce adversary in Agamemnon, who took hold of Achilles' cherished captive Briseis. In a fit of rage and deep offense, Achilles turned his back on the battlefield, opting to step away from the fray until his honor was rightfully reclaimed. In the absence of Achilles, the Greeks faced dire consequences. In the grand tapestry of ancient tales, the Trojan prince Hector stands out as a figure of nobility, courage, and unwavering loyalty, the beloved eldest son of King Priam. With unwavering courage, he guided the Trojan armies, driving the Greeks away time and time again. In the heart of battle, every Trojan warrior stood valiantly behind Hector, their beacon of hope shining brightly amidst the chaos. Hector transcended the role of a mere fighter. He embodied the essence of a cherished son, a devoted husband, a nurturing father, and a steadfast guardian of his community. From the city walls, his devoted wife Andromache and their young son Astyanax gazed out with bated breath, their hearts filled with hope for his safe return each day. The deities were intricately woven into the fabric of the tale, their neutrality a distant dream. Hera and Athena stood resolutely with the Greeks, their hearts still seething from the sting of Paris's earlier decision. In the grand tapestry of ancient tales, Aphrodite, Apollo, and Ares stood as mighty patrons of Troy, steering valiant warriors and shaping the tides of battle with their divine influence. With a heavy heart, Zeus observed the unfolding tragedy, caught in a web of conflicting loyalties, fully aware that the course of fate was unalterable. As the years unfolded, Hector orchestrated a daring and formidable assault, pushing the Greeks perilously near their vessels. In a moment of urgency, as the Greek cause hung by a thread, Patroclus, the dearest friend and cherished companion of Achilles, implored him to allow him to join the battle, clad in Achilles' own armor, believing it might instill fear in the hearts of the Trojans and send them fleeing. With a heavy heart, Achilles acquiesced. With valor in his heart, Patroclus engaged in battle, yet soon caught the eye of Hector, who stepped forth to confront him directly. In a tumultuous clash, Hector, driven by the heat of the moment, struck down Patroclus momentarily, believing him to be Achilles. As he stripped away Achilles' armor, Hector came face to face with a chilling revelation, fully aware that the wrath of Achilles would soon be unleashed upon him. The tidings of Patroclus' demise pierced through Achilles' heart like a dagger. Consumed by sorrow and fueled by wrath, Achilles made his way back to the battlefield, his fury rendering him invincible. With a fierce determination, he plunged into the heart of the Trojan forces, sending soldiers fleeing in fear. At long last, Achilles found himself face to face with Hector, just beyond the mighty walls of Troy. Their duel raged with intensity, yet Hector, valiant and honorable, felt deep within that he could not withstand the fury of Achilles. In a fierce clash of wills, Achilles unleashed his fury upon Hector, avenging the loss of his dear companion. Yet the fury of Achilles remained unquenched. In a cruel twist of fate, he desecrated Hector's lifeless form, binding it to his chariot and parading it around the city walls, a tormenting affront to honor and dignity. In the shadow of impending doom, the inhabitants of Troy beheld the unfolding tragedy with hearts heavy and spirits crushed. In a remarkable display of bravery, King Priam stealthily made his way into the Greek camp, cloaked in the shadows of the night. With a heavy heart, the aged monarch fell to his knees before Achilles, his voice trembling with sorrow as he pleaded for the return of his beloved son's lifeless form. Touched by the profound sorrow of Priam, Achilles softened, granting Hector's body the respect and mourning it deserved. Yet Troy stood firm, unwilling to yield. At long last, Odysseus, celebrated for his cleverness, crafted a brilliant ruse. In a clever ruse, the Greeks feigned retreat from the battlefield, setting sail while leaving behind a colossal wooden horse crafted as a deceptive tribute to Athena. Concealed within the great steed were the finest warriors of Greece, among them the legendary Odysseus. With hearts full of hope and triumph, the Trojans welcomed the colossal horse into their city, convinced that the war had come to an end, celebrating it as a grand trophy of their victory. As the moon cast its gentle glow, Troy lay in slumber, unaware of the unfolding tale. From within the wooden horse, Odysseus and his brave companions crept forth, their movements as quiet as whispers. With deft hands they unlatched the city gates, granting passage to the Greek army, who had stealthily returned, cloaked in the shadows of night. Troy found himself swiftly engulfed by the tide of events. The flames devoured the splendid city as brave warriors engaged in fierce battles and turmoil reigned in the streets. In a tragic turn of fate, King Priam met his end. Paris was struck down, and the once mighty city, which had held strong against a relentless siege for a decade, fell apart in the span of a single night. In a poignant twist of fate, Helen found herself once more in the embrace of Menelaus, who with a heart full of forgiveness welcomed her back to the storied land of Sparta. Meanwhile, the echoes of the fallen lingered as many Trojan survivors either fled into the shadows or were taken captive, their destinies forever altered. And so it came to pass that the mighty city of Troy met its fate, a culmination of the sorrowful omens that had shadowed Paris since the day he drew breath. Valiant souls emerged, and fated courage intertwined with sorrow, and the fabric of existence was irrevocably altered. These remarkable tales of Achilles' fury, Hector's bravery, Odysseus' wit, and the harrowing price of battle transformed into legends shared around countless flickering flames for generations to follow. As the ashes of Troy settled, the valiant Greek heroes embarked on their long-awaited journey back to the shores they once knew. Yet the deities, incensed by the dreadful devastation and the irreverent deeds committed during the fall of Troy, unleashed tempestuous storms, scattering the Greek armada across the tumultuous seas. Countless heroes have encountered formidable challenges, yet none quite like Odysseus, whose odyssey back home would stretch into another decade, filled with trials and tribulations. The journeys of Odysseus transformed into tales of legend. In the tale of his journey, the first significant trial awaited on the island of the Cyclopes. Here, Odysseus and his crew found themselves ensnared within the dark confines of Polyphemus's cave, a lair belonging to a fearsome giant with a single glaring eye. With cunning wit, Odysseus chose the name Nobody for himself, and in a moment of fierce bravery, he plunged a fiery stake into the eye of the great Polyphemus, leaving the giant in darkness. As the Cyclopes bellowed for assistance, exclaiming, "Nobody blinded me," the other Cyclopes turned a deaf ear, granting Odysseus and his men the chance to slip away beneath the massive bellies of the giant's sheep. Despite their struggles, the journey pressed on. Odysseus and his loyal crew faced the formidable enchantress Circe, whose sorcery transformed his comrades into swine. Armed with the guidance of Hermes, Odysseus shielded himself from her bewitching powers and confronted her with courage, ultimately persuading Circe to return his men to their true forms. Odysseus lingered for a year on the enchanting island of Circe, taking time to rest and regain his strength before embarking on his next adventure. Under Circe's wise guidance, he ventured into the depths of the underworld, where he encountered the prophet Tiresias, who imparted crucial warnings and insights for the treacherous journey that lay ahead. His subsequent trial involved skillfully steering past the alluring sirens, whose captivating melodies beckoned sailors to their doom. In a moment of reflection, On Circe's wise counsel, Odysseus took decisive action. He filled his men's ears with wax and bound himself securely to the mast of his ship, determined to experience the siren's enchanting song without endangering his crew. As they sailed forth, the vessel approached two formidable threats: Scylla, the fearsome six-headed beast that snatched sailors from their vessels, and Charybdis, the monstrous whirlpool that devoured entire ships. Opting for the lesser peril, Odysseus steered his ship nearer to Scylla, a choice that cost him 6 valiant men, yet safeguarded the ship and the remainder of his crew. At long last, Odysseus and his weary crew found themselves on the shores of Helios's island, where the sun god reigned supreme. Ignoring Odysseus's dire cautions, his famished men succumbed to temptation and took the life of Helios's revered cattle, igniting the fury of the god. In response, Helios called for retribution, and Zeus unleashed a violent tempest that shattered their vessel, claiming the lives of all aboard. In the wake of a tumultuous journey, Odysseus emerged as the sole survivor, finding himself cast upon the shores of the enchanting island ruled by the goddess Calypso. For 7 long years, he remained her captive until the mighty Zeus intervened, commanding his freedom. Yet the trials of Odysseus were far from over. Upon finally returning to his beloved Ithaca, he discovered that during his absence, a horde of arrogant suitors had taken residence in his palace, vying for his kingdom and seeking the hand of his devoted wife Penelope. With the aid of his son Telemachus and steadfast servants, Odysseus donned the guise of an old beggar, meticulously crafting a plan for vengeance. In a contest set forth by Penelope to determine her true husband, it was Odysseus who alone could string his mighty bow and send an arrow flawlessly through 12 aligned axes, leaving the onlookers in awe. Casting aside his disguise, Odysseus, alongside Telemachus and his devoted allies, vanquished the suitors and restored his rightful place in his home and kingdom. At long last, after 20 years of trials and tribulations, Odysseus found himself back in the embrace of Penelope and his beloved family, bringing an end to his arduous odyssey. The tales of his adventures intertwined with the legendary feats of Achilles Hector and all the valiant souls who battled in the Trojan War, transformed into timeless narratives shared around countless flickering campfires. Their acts of bravery, wit, and perseverance resonated through the ages, captivating the hearts of those who listened. Forever etched in the annals of time are the tales of Greece's most legendary figures. With the fall of Troy behind them, the valiant Greek heroes embarked on their journey home. Yet the wrath of the gods, stirred by the chaos and irreverence displayed during Troy's downfall, unleashed tempestuous storms that scattered the Greek fleet across the seas. In the annals of heroism, few tales resonate as profoundly as that of Odysseus, a man whose odyssey would stretch into a decade of trials and tribulations. His adventures, steeped in legend, began as he and his crew weathered fierce storms, ultimately arriving at the enigmatic shores of the Lotus Eaters. In that moment, Odysseus' men encountered the enchanting lotus fruit, a delicacy that wove a spell of forgetfulness over them, erasing their memories of home, family, and the longing to return to Ithaca. With unwavering resolve, Odysseus took it upon himself to rescue his crew, pulling them back to the ship against their will, binding them to thwart their yearning for the land of dreams. But the trials they faced were far from over. Odysseus and his crew finally reached the enchanting yet perilous island, governed by the sorceress Circe, the daughter of Helios. Upon their arrival, Circe welcomed the men into her opulent palace, presenting them with sumptuous food and drink. Yet beneath her gracious facade lay a sinister sorcery. With a flick of her wand, she transformed Odysseus' crew into swine, locking them away in pens, their very essence stripped away. Yet one man stayed vigilant, returning to deliver a warning to Odysseus. Resolute in his quest to save his men, Odysseus received help from Hermes, the swift messenger of the gods, who bestowed upon him a mystical herb known as moly, shielding him from Circe's bewitchments. With unwavering courage, Odysseus faced Circe, compelling her to pledge an oath to the gods, ensuring the safety of himself and his men. Moved by his valor and cleverness, Circe transformed his crew back into their human selves. For an entire year, Odysseus and his men resided in Circe's enchanting palace, rejuvenating their strength and spirits before embarking once more with Circe's sage guidance lighting their path. Before he could embark on the final leg of his journey home, Circe imparted a crucial task to Odysseus. He must venture into the underworld for guidance. With courage in his heart, he descended into Hades, the shadowy realm of the departed, where he encountered a multitude of spirits, fallen warriors, and cherished souls alike. It was there that he crossed paths with the blind prophet Tiresias, whose profound wisdom illuminated the path ahead, steering him toward safety. Tiresias, the wise seer, cautioned him of the perilous path that lay ahead, urging him to steer clear of the sacred cattle of Helios. He prophesied that Odysseus would ultimately find his way back to Ithaca, though trials and tribulations still loomed on the horizon. As they emerged from the depths of the underworld, Odysseus and his crew encountered their next formidable test, the alluring yet treacherous melodies of the sirens. Circe had forewarned him of these enchanting beings, whose melodies lured sailors with an irresistible pull toward treacherous cliffs and inevitable doom. Heeding Circe's counsel, Odysseus meticulously sealed his crew's ears with beeswax. Still, a deep yearning stirred within him to experience the sirens' alluring yet perilous song firsthand. In that moment, he commanded his crew to bind him securely to the mast, vowing they would not relent regardless of his cries. As their vessel glided by the treacherous islands, the enchanting voices of the sirens filled the air, offering whispers of wisdom, dominion, and boundless delight. Odysseus fought against his restraints, imploring and yearning, yet his devoted companions only tightened their grip, navigating safely beyond the perilous temptation, untouched. Next, their journey led them through a perilous passage flanked by two fearsome threats. To one side loomed Scylla, a fearsome beast with 6 savage heads that towered over the waves, snatching sailors from their vessels with ruthless precision. On the other side roared Charybdis, a formidable whirlpool, ready to engulf entire ships in its relentless grasp. Odysseus faced a harrowing choice, opting for the perilous path of Scylla, fully aware that sacrificing a handful of his sailors was the lesser evil compared to the loss of his entire vessel. In a cruel twist of fate, as they navigated the treacherous waters, Scylla struck with lightning speed, snatching away 6 valiant crewmen, leaving the rest to witness the horror, their hearts heavy with sorrow. Yet amidst the anguish, Odysseus, resolute and unwavering, steered his course forward. At last, weary and famished, Odysseus's crew stumbled upon the island of Helios, the mighty sun god, where sacred cattle roamed untouched and revered. Time and again, Odysseus had cautioned his men, imploring them to steer clear of provoking Helios. Yet fierce storms ensnared them on the island, their provisions running low, and desperation began to take hold. In a moment of folly, despite Odysseus's dire warnings, his starving crew succumbed to temptation, slaughtering the sacred cattle and indulging in a reckless feast. In a fit of rage, Helios sought out Zeus, calling for retribution for the affront he had suffered. Without hesitation, Zeus unleashed his wrath, conjuring a fierce tempest that obliterated the ship entirely. Only Odysseus remained desperately grasping the remnants of the wreck, lost in the vastness of the ocean. Upon the sands of the enchanting island of Calypso, the valiant Odysseus was greeted with warmth and allure. Yet as time wove its intricate tapestry, he discovered himself ensnared in a web of longing. The goddess Calypso, captivated by his presence, offered him the gift of immortality and the promise of eternal bliss should he choose to remain by her side. Despite the seductive nature of her proposal, Odysseus's heart remained steadfast, yearning for the distant shores of Ithaca and the embrace of his beloved wife Penelope. For 7 long years, Odysseus found himself a prisoner of Calypso, his heart yearning for the shores of his beloved home as he stared out at the endless sea. At last, swayed by the heartfelt entreaties of Athena, Zeus commanded Calypso to set him free. With a heavy heart, she aided him in crafting a raft and gathering provisions, ultimately granting him the freedom to embark on his long-awaited voyage home. After a long, solitary journey, Odysseus at last arrived at his beloved island of Ithaca. Yet his trials were far from finished. During his absence, bold suitors had invaded his palace ravenously, consuming his riches and vying for the affection of his devoted wife Penelope. For years, Penelope had skillfully postponed making a choice among them, weaving a burial shroud by day and stealthily unraveling it each night, cleverly buying time as she longed for Odysseus' return. In the shadows, cloaked as a weary beggar, with Athena's guiding hand, Odysseus wove a tapestry of vengeance. In hushed tones, he found his son, Telemachus, transformed into a formidable young warrior. United, they crafted a cunning strategy to vanquish the suitors who had overrun their home. Penelope, with a glimmer of hope, announced a contest that would determine her future. She vowed to wed the man who could master Odysseus's legendary bow and send an arrow cleanly through 12 perfectly aligned axe handles. The haughty suitors, brimming with confidence, failed miserably to even string the formidable bow, laughing at the old beggar who dared to step forward. But in a twist of fate, Odysseus, cloaked in disguise, approached with ease, stringing his beloved bow and unleashing a flawless shot that pierced through each axe handle with precision. The suitors stood frozen, their breath caught in their throats as he shed his disguise, unveiling the rightful king who had come back. With Telemachus and his devoted companions by his side, Odysseus vanquished each suitor, restoring his home and loved ones at long last. After 20 long years apart, he finally embraced Penelope, who with a final challenge sought to verify his true self. Upon the successful completion of her test, they shared a heartfelt embrace, tears of joy streaming down their faces as love and peace enveloped them once more. Odysseus had returned home, his long and arduous journey finally at an end. The remarkable tales of his clever escapes, fierce battles with monstrous foes, and the trials set forth by gods and mortals alike transformed into timeless legends. His struggles, courage, cleverness, and unbreakable determination resonated through the ages, recounted time and again around countless campfires. Alongside Achilles' wrath, Hector's bravery, and the heroes of Troy Odysseus's Odyssey stood tall among Greece's greatest and most enduring legends. One of the most cherished tales of ancient Greece was that of Eros and Psyche, a love story so profound it even touched the hearts of the gods. Psyche, a mortal princess, captivated the hearts of many with her extraordinary beauty. Her allure was so profound that wanderers from distant realms embarked on long journeys simply to behold her visage. As fate would have it, whispers began to circulate that Psyche's beauty surpassed even that of Aphrodite, the revered goddess of love and beauty. In a time when the grand temples dedicated to Aphrodite lay silent and abandoned, the allure of Psyche's earthly beauty captivated the hearts of many. This shift in devotion stung Aphrodite, igniting a fire of jealousy within her. With a heart full of resolve, she summoned her son, Eros, the master of love's arrows, intent on teaching the girl a lesson she would not soon forget. Aphrodite commanded Eros to strike Psyche's heart with an arrow, ensuring she would fall for the most grotesque being imaginable. Eros, dutiful to his mother, glided quietly to Psyche's chamber under the cover of night. Yet as he neared her slumbering form, bathed gently in moonlight, he hesitated. Psyche radiated a beauty that surpassed all whispers he'd ever heard, her visage a portrait of gentleness and tranquility. His hands trembled, and in a moment of clumsiness, he pricked himself with his own arrow. In that fleeting instant, Eros found himself irrevocably enchanted by Psyche. Understanding that he could never bring her harm, he took to the skies, leaving her unscathed, yet forever etched in his memory. In the meantime, Psyche's family fretted over the notion that no suitor would approach someone so extraordinary. They sought the wisdom of an oracle who foretold that Psyche's fate was to unite with a spouse who was neither mortal nor divine, but a being dreaded by all. With heavy hearts, her parents guided her to a remote cliff, convinced that destiny had woven a path they could not alter. But as fate would have it, the gentle west wind Zephyrus embraced Psyche and whisked her away to a secret valley adorned with lush gardens and vibrant blooms. In this enchanting place, she stumbled upon a resplendent palace, crafted from gold and jewels, surpassing her wildest dreams. Within the shadows, unseen attendants catered to her every desire. That evening, Psyche encountered her enigmatic spouse for the first time. In the dim light, his form remained hidden, yet his soothing voice eased her anxieties. Night after night, he came to her weaving words of solace and affection. Though Psyche could not behold his visage, she found herself profoundly enamored with this mysterious presence. Yet as time passed, a sense of solitude enveloped Psyche, prompting her to yearn for the company of her sisters. Upon their visit to the magnificent palace, envy seeped into their hearts. They sowed seeds of doubt in Psyche's mind, whispering that her husband might be a fearsome creature lurking in the shadows too dreadful to reveal his visage. Psyche's intrigue morphed into anxiety and then dread. With a heart full of resolve, Psyche bided her time until her husband succumbed to slumber one fateful night. Clutching an oil lamp, she delicately cast its glow upon his visage, steeling herself for the revelation of the beast that lay beside her. Yet a gasp escaped her lips, filled with astonishment. In a twist of fate, her husband revealed himself to be none other than the strikingly beautiful god Eros. Overcome with surprise, Psyche inadvertently poured hot oil onto his shoulder. Eros stirred, filled with feelings of betrayal and sorrow. In silence, he took to the skies, leaving Psyche in a whirlwind of sorrow. Heart aching and determined, she sought out Aphrodite, pleading for a chance at redemption. Yet the goddess, harboring her own resentments, decreed that Psyche must prove herself worthy of compassion. She devised challenges that seemed insurmountable for the girl, each one crafted to shatter her resolve. The first task was to sort an enormous heap of minuscule grains, a feat beyond the reach of any soul. Yet fortune smiled upon Psyche as compassionate aunts, moved by her plight, stealthily sorted the grains while she rested. Next, Aphrodite commanded her to retrieve golden fleece from ferocious sheep that no mortal dared to approach. Psyche wept by the river until the gentle whispers of the reeds guided her to collect the wool, ensnared in nearby thorn bushes, cleverly steering clear of the menacing sheep. Then, Aphrodite insisted on water from a perilous waterfall linked to the river Styx, fiercely protected by formidable dragons. Psyche, on the brink of despair, found hope when the Zeus dispatched his eagle to fetch the precious water she sought. With determination, she ventured into the depths of the underworld, seeking Persephone's gift of beauty. Undaunted Psyche embarked on this perilous journey, bolstered by the whispers of spirits guiding her through the shadows. As she made her way back, an insatiable curiosity took hold of her, compelling her to open the box. In an instant, she succumbed to a profound, death-like slumber. Meanwhile, Eros, sensing the distress of Psyche from afar, felt his heart swell with love. He hurried to her side, and with a gentle kiss, he roused her from her deep sleep. In a moment of divine intervention, the mighty Zeus took notice of their unwavering love. He bestowed upon Psyche the gift of immortality, offering her ambrosia, the sacred sustenance of the gods, and invited her to dwell eternally on the majestic Mount Olympus. Thus Psyche and Eros found themselves reunited, their bond now more powerful than ever before. In a grand celebration, the gods rejoiced in their reunion, marking the beginning of a tale that would echo through time, the enchanting saga of Eros and Psyche, a testament to love's ability to conquer even the fiercest jealousy of the divine. However, not every love story concludes with happiness. Reflect upon the poignant narrative of Orpheus and Eurydice, a timeless account shared across generations, illustrating the profound strength and delicate nature of love. Orpheus emerged not merely as a musician, but as the finest ever to grace the lands of Greece, a child of Calliope, the muse of poetry, and a mortal king from Thrace. From his earliest days, the enchanting notes of his lyre captivated all, as if time itself held its breath to hear. His melodies, both tender and mighty, had the power to lure birds from the heavens, soothe the fiercest of beasts, and hush the babbling brooks. From distant lands, they gathered to listen to his enchanting melodies, believing that his music was a divine blessing. Eurydice, a stunning young woman, possessed a heart as tender as the notes that flowed from Orpheus's strings. The moment Orpheus laid eyes on her, he realized he would never find love again like this. Eurydice shared the same sentiment, and soon enough they exchanged vows, their wedding day a vibrant tapestry woven with melodies and mirth. Each guest beamed with affection, convinced that Orpheus and Eurydice were destined for endless joy. Yet the whims of fate can be unforgiving. Not long after their wedding, Eurydice strolled through a serene meadow with her friends gathering flowers and sharing gentle laughter. Suddenly, from the shadows, a concealed snake struck her heel, delivering its lethal venom. In an instant, the joy of her laughter vanished, leaving only silence as she collapsed to the earth. As her friends rushed to her side, the weight of despair settled heavily upon them. The news of Eurydice's untimely demise swept through the village like a dark cloud, enveloping all in profound grief. Yet among them, none felt the ache of loss more acutely than Orpheus, whose heart lay shattered in the wake of her passing. In the absence of Eurydice, the world descended into chaos. He turned away from his music, and an oppressive silence enveloped everything. The birds ceased their melodies, the rivers lost their cheerful currents, and the wind halted its gentle murmurs among the trees. Overwhelmed by his sorrow, Orpheus made a choice that no human had ever attempted. He would venture into the depths of the underworld to retrieve Eurydice. Armed only with his golden lyre, Orpheus courageously plunged into the shadows, resolute in his quest to bring back the woman he cherished. He journeyed across the river Styx, treading lightly past Cerberus, the formidable three-headed guardian of the underworld's entrance. Typically fierce and vigilant, Cerberus was rendered quiet, entranced by the gentle, mournful strains of Orpheus's music. As Orpheus pressed on, every shadowy soul and spirit halted to absorb the sound momentarily, shedding their sorrow, captivated by the beauty of his tunes. At long last, Orpheus found himself in the throne room of Hades, the formidable king of the underworld, alongside his queen Persephone. The atmosphere was heavy with darkness and gravity, as the two sovereigns regarded him with unwavering intensity, their expressions etched with solemnity. Summoning every ounce of bravery within him, Orpheus advanced and let the enchanting melodies of his lyre fill the air. In the shadowy depths of the underworld, melodies wove through the air, resonating with both tenderness and strength, encapsulating Orpheus's sorrow, yearning, and eternal affection. For the first time, Hades felt the warmth of tears in his eyes, while Persephone shed silent tears touched by the haunting strains. Stirred by the profound emotion of Orpheus's song, Hades made an unprecedented decision to fulfill his plea. In a realm where shadows danced and whispers echoed, Eurydice's spirit was granted a chance to return to the world of the living. But it came with a solemn decree. Orpheus, the devoted lover, was to guide her through the darkened paths of the underworld with Eurydice, trailing quietly in his wake. The weight of the moment hung heavy, for he was bound by an unbreakable rule. Not a single glance could he cast back until they emerged together into the warmth of the sunlit world above. At that moment, he was granted the chance to behold her face once more. Yet the weight of the condition loomed over him. A single misstep would send Eurydice spiraling back into the shadows for eternity. With a heart brimming with hope, Orpheus made his vow. With great care and measured steps, he began his ascent toward the world. Above Eurydice, trailing quietly behind him through the dimly lit corridors. Each footfall echoed in his ears, and Orpheus strained to catch the sound of her presence, yearning for the reassurance that she was indeed by his side. As they approached the surface, a gentle, golden light broke through the darkness, heralding the promise of freedom and joy. Yet uncertainty crept into Orpheus's heart. Was Eurydice truly present, or had he fallen for a deception? Consumed by a whirlwind of fear and yearning, he glanced back for a fleeting moment, seeking solace. In that heartbeat, their gazes intertwined, brimming with a blend of love and melancholy. Eurydice murmured his name with a tender breath, yet just as he extended his hand, her essence began to dissolve, retreating softly into the dimness. Orpheus called out, his heart aching as he sought to hold her, but time had slipped away. Eurydice disappeared into the void, forever beyond his reach. With a heavy heart, Orpheus ascended to the world above, yet his soul was forever entwined in the depths with Eurydice. Thus began his solitary journey, where each note he played resonated with profound sorrow and yearning, causing the very trees and rivers to shed tears in response to his melodies. In the twilight of his existence, Orpheus's spirit embraced the call of the underworld once more. There at last he found Eurydice, and they embraced, never to be separated again. Together, they remained side by side, walking quietly through the shadowy meadows of the afterlife, their love finally unbroken and eternal. The Trojan War itself had begun with love, a love that sparked endless tragedy. In a tale woven with enchantment, Helen and Paris found themselves entwined by the captivating spell of Aphrodite, a bond that ignited kingdoms and altered the course of Greece for eternity. It all began with a pivotal choice. Paris, the youthful prince of Troy, was summoned to arbitrate a contest of beauty among three formidable goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. In a realm where goddesses vied for favor, each one presented alluring gifts, yet it was Aphrodite who unveiled the most enchanting promise, the love of the fairest maiden in all the land. Paris, unable to withstand such a temptation, bestowed upon her the coveted golden apple. That maiden was none other than Helen, the queen of Sparta, whose beauty was the stuff of legends, having ensnared the hearts of many before him. In a time of legends when Paris set foot in Sparta, the enchanting Aphrodite kept her vow, igniting a fierce desire in Helen's heart for the handsome prince. Under the weight of the goddess's enchanting influence, Helen chose to abandon her husband Menelaus, the king of Sparta, and embarked on a fateful journey with Paris to Troy. Upon realizing Helen's absence, Menelaus's sorrow swiftly transformed into a burning fury. With unwavering resolve to win back his beloved queen and regain his lost honor, he summoned his brother Agamemnon and the formidable kings of Greece. United, they assembled a vast army, and countless ships embarked on the journey to Troy. In this way, the tender sparks of love ignited a fierce and enduring conflict, a conflict that would engulf champions' realms and innumerable souls. Within the besieged walls of Troy, Paris and Helen existed in a delicate reverie, their affection cast in the shadow of warfare and despair. As their bond intensified, Helen found herself tormented by remorse and heartache. Upon the ancient walls of Troy, she would gaze out at the sprawling Greek army, each warrior driven by her presence. The nights grew heavy with the shadows of memories, her dreams haunted by the echoes of love and loss. Her affection for Paris, a blend of sweetness and sorrow, offered solace, yet brought its own kind of ache. Paris, fiercely loyal to Helen, found himself burdened by the profound implications of their bond. Troy's people turned their gaze upon him, casting blame for their suffering, attributing their hardships and losses to his hasty decision. Yet amidst the storm of criticism and doubt, Paris remained steadfast, unwilling to forsake the woman he cherished, even as despair loomed large. Their connection weathered the tumult of war until fate dealt a cruel hand, and on a fateful day, Paris fell to a poisoned arrow, loosed by the Greek hero Philoctetes. As Paris breathed his last, Helen remained at his side, her heart shattering with each whispered plea for him to stay. When he finally slipped away, her sorrow engulfed her. The flames consuming Troy and the ruins of its gates faded into mere shadows against the vast void within her soul. When Troy met its end, Menelaus charged into the desolate city, driven by the need to face the woman he had lost. At last, he found Helen's sword in hand, poised to unleash his fury. Yet as he gazed into her eyes, the remnants of love surged forth, overpowering his wrath. In a moment of profound realization, he lowered his weapon and enveloped her in an embrace, silently letting go of the anguish and heartache their love had wrought. As they journeyed back to Sparta, the shadows of war loss and regret loomed over their love forever, altering its essence. Yet, in the tapestry of tragic romances, none could rival the tale of Pyramus and Thisbe, two star-crossed lovers whose fervent devotion sparked tales and legends that would echo through the ages. Residing in the vibrant city of Babylon, they were but neighbors, their homes divided by a mere thin wall. In the shadows of a narrow fissure in the wall, they shared hushed whispers, confiding secrets, and weaving dreams, their hearts entwined in a profound love that transcended the barriers of touch and sight. Their families, locked in a bitter feud, forbade them from revealing their affection, casting their love into the realm of the forbidden. Yet the ache of separation grew unbearable, prompting Pyramus and Thisbe to craft a bold scheme to escape together into the unknown. In the stillness of the night, they chose to rendezvous beneath the sprawling branches of a grand mulberry tree just beyond the city's protective walls. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Thisbe stealthily emerged from her home, arriving at their secret haven. First her heart, a whirlwind of anticipation and trepidation. As she lingered in the cool embrace of the night, the shadows danced around her, and from the depths of the darkness, a lioness emerged, her fierce jaws glistening with the remnants of a recent hunt. In a state of sheer panic, Thisbe dashed towards a nearby cave, her veil slipping from her grasp as she hurried away. The lioness, drawn by the scent, caught the veil in her fierce jaws, shredding it before disappearing into the shadows. Just moments after Pyramus reached the mulberry tree, unaware of the tragic turn of events that had unfolded. Upon discovering the tattered, bloodied veil, a heavy weight settled in his chest. Convinced that Thisbe had met her tragic end, waves of despair and guilt crashed over him. In a moment of heart-wrenching sorrow, Pyramus unsheathed his sword, driving it into his heart beneath the mulberry tree, believing he could not endure life without his beloved. Thisbe, her heart racing with trepidation, cautiously stepped out from her concealed refuge and made her way back to their rendezvous. Beneath the soft glow of the moon, she found Pyramus sprawled on the earth, his life ebbing away, crimson droplets marking the roots of the mulberry tree. She knelt beside him, her cries echoing in the night, cradling him tenderly as he faded from this world. In her profound sorrow, Thisbe grasped the same sword and decided to unite with Pyramus in death rather than endure life in solitude. As her final breath escaped, their blood intertwined and soaked into the ground, forever transforming the mulberry fruits from white to a deep, sorrowful red, an everlasting testament to their love loss and heart-rending sacrifice. These poignant narratives of love and loss resonated deeply with all who listened. Eros and Psyche illustrated the enduring strength of love. Orpheus and Eurydice unveiled the profound sorrow that accompanies loss. Helen and Paris personified the devastating force of love, while the tale of Pyramus and Thisbe imparted the heart-wrenching lessons of miscommunication and forbidden longing. Now, let us embark on an exploration into the enigmatic and dimly lit domain referred to by the ancient Greeks as the underworld, a concealed kingdom lying deep within the earth, presided over by the grave and elusive god Hades and his tender yet remote queen Persephone. For the Greeks, this was not some far-off paradise or unattainable destination. It was a tangible, corporeal realm beneath their very feet, reachable by only a select few and feared by the majority. Hades stood apart from the other Olympian gods, a figure shrouded in mystery and gravity. With his dark beard and solemn demeanor, he was often portrayed seated upon a throne of ebony, while mortals feared to utter his name, opting instead for Pluton, the giver of wealth, or the Unseen One. Hades was not the embodiment of evil that many believed him to be. In contrast, he was regarded as just steadfast and profoundly dedicated to upholding harmony and structure in the domain of the departed. Unlike his brother Zeus, who governed the heavens, and Poseidon, who commanded the oceans, Hades favored isolation, seldom gracing Mount Olympus unless called upon. His realm was one of quietude and darkness, and his responsibilities required both endurance and impartiality. With a watchful gaze, he tended to the souls placed in his charge, ensuring that each one discovered its destined resting place in the realm beyond. Though his duties were somber, he was regarded as a figure of fairness. The Greeks held the belief that he governed the scales of judgment after life, meting out both retribution and reward with impartiality, mirroring the deeds of the living. In the grand tapestry of Greek mythology, tales featuring Hades may be fewer than those of his siblings, yet they resonate with profound significance. Among these narratives, none stands out quite like his union with Persephone. Enchanted by the delicate goddess of spring, Hades approached Zeus, seeking his blessing to claim Persephone as his queen. Zeus, in his enigmatic manner, neither affirmed nor rejected the request, leaving Hades to interpret this silence as a tacit approval. On a radiant afternoon, as Persephone strolled blissfully through a meadow, the earth shook with a sudden force. From the depths, Hades appeared in his ominous chariot pulled by fierce black steeds, whisking the astonished goddess into his dark domain. Though fear gripped her, at first, Persephone gradually began to accept and ultimately cherish her destiny as the queen of the underworld. In a realm shrouded in darkness and silence, Persephone emerged as a beacon of grace and compassion, infusing Hades's somber domain with her gentle spirit. She nurtured flowers that blossomed along the riverbanks, offering small comforts to the wandering souls who traversed her world. Their bond, intricate and tinged with sorrow from her seasonal departures, was perceived by the Greeks as profound and authentic. In the realm of shadows, it was said that Persephone had found a deep affection for her grave husband. Her very being beside him infused the chilling corridors of Hades's palace with a gentle solace and warmth. The underworld unfolded as an expansive, enigmatic terrain. Upon the final breath, a soul embarked on a journey through meandering paths and dimly lit tunnels, ultimately reaching the shores of the river Styx. This river transcended mere geography. It embodied a profound vow. The deities themselves pledged their sacred oaths upon the Styx, for its waters were infused with enchantment, guaranteeing that any promise made upon it would remain unbroken for eternity. At the edge of the Styx stood Charon, the somber ferryman who silently ushered souls across the shadowy waters. Those who could not afford the fare, typically a small coin tenderly placed by loved ones beneath their tongues, roamed the riverbanks in endless sorrow. Charon was a formidable presence portrayed as an aged, stern man, draped in worn robes, his eyes flickering like faint embers. He showed no compassion, executing his duty with chilling precision. Upon crossing the river, the souls drew near the imposing gates, watched over by Cerberus, the fearsome beast with 3 growling heads, its eyes glowing with fierce alertness. The presence of Cerberus was vital. No living soul could traverse without facing scrutiny, nor could any spirit re-enter the realm of the living without the consent of the divine. His fearsome presence stood as a perpetual reminder. The underworld was a conclusive endpoint, a threshold not easily crossed once more. Beyond Cerberus lay a realm shrouded in mist, where valleys whispered secrets, forests loomed with shadows, and plains echoed with a gentle sorrow. In this ethereal landscape, lost souls meandered, their memories dimming like distant stars, bound to a timeless existence of reflection. Within this realm, the asphodel meadows unfolded endless gray fields, where the souls of the ordinary, neither marked by virtue nor vice, lingered in a serene state of neutrality. In the tales spun by the Greeks, there existed both luminous and shadowy domains within the vast expanse of Hades' realm. For those heroic spirits and the genuinely virtuous, a splendid paradise awaited Elysium. This enchanting haven offered solace, tranquility, and delight, adorned with soft breezes, fragrant blooms, and the warm glow of golden sunlight. In this realm, legendary figures, such as Achilles, Hector, and Hercules, found their eternal peace, liberated from the burdens of pain, sorrow, and fear. Yet for those who had transgressed against the divine or their fellow beings, the dreaded Tartarus awaited, lurking far below the grand palace of Hades. It was a chasm of perpetual darkness, a place of ceaseless torment, in a realm where titans and mortals alike faced the wrath of the divine. The echoes of their defiance lingered. Among the infamous captives was Sisyphus, eternally bound to the futile task of pushing a boulder up a steep incline, only to watch it roll back down, mocking his efforts. Then there was Tantalus, forever tormented by insatiable thirst and hunger, standing in water that slipped away just as he reached for it, while fruit-laden branches danced just out of his grasp, a cruel reminder of his plight. Ixion, forever chained to a wheel that spins endlessly, surrounded by flames. The Greeks spoke of peculiar rivers flowing through this enigmatic realm of the dead. Among them, aside from the Styx, the Lethe stood out as particularly noteworthy. The waters whispered of complete forgetfulness, inviting souls to release their earthly sorrows and regrets, paving the way for new beginnings in the tapestry of reincarnation. Another river, the Acheron, bore the weight of pain and sorrow, serving as the threshold to the underworld, where it collected the tears and anguish of those newly arrived. Cusitis, the river of lamentation, resonated with the haunting echoes of eternal grief, while Phlegethon, a river of searing flames, wound its way around the very edges of Tartarus, a stark reminder of unending punishment. Beyond rivers and meadows, the underworld unfolded with special landmarks and mysterious locations. The Palace of Hades stood as a magnificent yet intimidating structure crafted from dark stone and metals aglow with eerie blue flames. Surrounding it were sacred groves of dark poplars and willows softly whispering in a perpetual twilight. Close at hand stood the judgment seat, where three unbiased judges, Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Iacchus, examined the earthly actions of each soul, determining their everlasting position in the expansive underworld. For the Greeks, this realm was not merely a domain of dread. It embodied the intricacies of life morality and equilibrium. They perceived Hades not as malevolent, but as essential, strict, and fair, upholding justice and equity even after life's conclusion. In the shadows of the underworld, they learned that life and death danced together, woven into an eternal tapestry that eluded complete comprehension, yet commanded profound reverence. As the fire flickers gently and the stars twinkle silently overhead, we embark on a voyage into the lesser-known narratives of Greek mythology tales that murmur wisdom instead of proclaiming it, gently nudging us to remember kindness, humility, and the subtle enchantment found in ordinary lives. Our journey begins with the tale of Baucis and Philemon, an elderly couple cherished for their warmth and generosity. In a time long past, there stood a humble cottage at the periphery of a quaint village, embraced by sprawling fields, towering trees, and meandering country paths. This dwelling, with its wooden walls and straw-thatched roof, was unadorned. Yet within its walls thrived a wealth of compassion and warmth, far surpassing any material riches. In the gentle rhythm of their lives, simplicity wove a tapestry of fulfillment. Side by side, they nurtured their garden, where vibrant vegetables, fragrant herbs, and blossoms of every hue flourished. As twilight descended, they gathered by the crackling fire, savoring the warmth of their shared moments. On a fateful afternoon, two weary travelers made their way into the village, their simple attire and exhausted expressions telling tales of a long journey. Little did the villagers know, these seemingly ordinary men were none other than Zeus, the mighty king of the gods, and Hermes, the swift messenger cloaked in disguise. They approached each home, knocking gently, hoping for a warm welcome and a meal, yet every door stood resolutely closed to them. At long last, Zeus and Hermes arrived at the humble abode of Baucis and Philemon. With open hearts, the elderly couple welcomed the weary travelers into their home. Philemon set chairs by the warm glow of the fireplace, while Baucis busied herself preparing a simple yet heartfelt meal from their meager supplies: fresh bread, honey fruits, and a delicate blend of wine and water. She expressed her regrets for the modesty of their offering, yet the visitors felt a deep appreciation for the warmth and generosity surrounding them. As they engaged in conversation and shared their meal, Baucis observed something peculiar. Regardless of how many cups of wine she poured, the jug seemed to defy logic, remaining ever full. She cast a fleeting look at Philemon, who too beheld the wondrous sight. Understanding that their visitors were far from ordinary, the couple was filled with awe and humility. In an instant, Zeus and Hermes unveiled themselves in a brilliant burst of light. Baucis and Philemon knelt in reverence, their hearts swelling with awe at the divine presence before them. Zeus, with a warm voice, commended their kindness, yet cautioned them of the impending retribution awaiting the villagers for their unwelcoming ways. A flood fierce and unrelenting would soon descend upon the village, but Zeus, in his mercy, promised that the elderly couple would be shielded from the storm's wrath. He presented them with a wish as a token of gratitude for their kindness. After sharing a meaningful glance, Philemon softly responded, "Let us share our lives until the very end. When the moment arrives, let us depart this world side by side, ensuring that neither of us faces solitude." With a generous heart, Zeus fulfilled their desire. He beckoned them to ascend a nearby hill where they could witness the floodwaters swell, enveloping the village below. Upon their return, they found that their humble cottage had transformed into a magnificent temple. Baucis and Philemon embraced their roles as guardians of the temple, greeting each visitor with the same warmth they had always shown. Time flowed gently by until one fateful day, as they stood side by side outside the sacred space, an extraordinary sensation enveloped them. Their feet began to intertwine with the soil, and slowly they underwent a remarkable transformation. Baucis transformed into a linden tree, while Philemon became an oak. Their branches stretched toward one another, forever entwined in a loving embrace. Villagers would come to these two trees, sharing tales of how the rustling leaves appeared to murmur echoes of the kindness and generosity that had characterized the lives of Baucis and Philemon. Now, let us embark on another narrative, one that brings us to the realm of King Midas. Midas, the sovereign of the ancient kingdom of Phrygia, presided over a land rich in prosperity, renowned for its opulence and bountiful fields. His infatuation with gold was legendary, as he enveloped himself in a world of extravagance, adorned with treasures and sumptuous delights. In a realm where opulence reigned, a man named Midas found himself ensnared by an insatiable hunger for gold and riches, an obsession that consumed his every waking moment. It was on a fateful day that his loyal servants stumbled upon an elderly figure, Silenus, meandering aimlessly near the palace grounds. This man, a cherished companion and guide to Dionysus, the revered god of wine revelry and merriment, held secrets that could change everything. Silenus found himself adrift, having strayed from the merry band of Dionysus, his spirit heavy with fatigue and confusion. The keen eyes of Midas's servants soon discerned his significance, and they swiftly escorted him to the grand palace. There, King Midas welcomed Silenus with open arms, honoring him as a distinguished guest of the realm. For several days, Silenus enjoyed the luxury of comfortable rooms, exquisite food, and delightful wine. Midas took it upon himself to ensure that Silenus was treated with the utmost care and comfort, recognizing the esteemed position he held as the cherished friend and advisor of Dionysus. In time, word reached Dionysus that Silenus had been discovered and graciously tended to by Midas. The god was filled with profound appreciation for the Phrygian king, recognizing his warmth and generosity. Soon, Dionysus made his way to the palace, eager to express his gratitude in person. He presented Midas with a choice, saying, "You may wish for anything your heart desires, and I will make it so." Without a moment's pause, Midas, brimming with excitement, declared his wish that everything he touched would transform into pure gold. Dionysus took a moment, sensing the weight of what was at stake, and implored Midas to think twice. Yet the king, caught in a whirlwind of enthusiasm, turned a deaf ear. Recognizing Midas's unwavering resolve, Dionysus let out a soft sigh and bestowed the wish upon him, cautioning softly that not every blessing shines with true brilliance. As dawn broke, Midas could hardly contain his excitement as he set out to explore his newfound ability. With a gentle touch, he turned an ordinary wooden chair into a brilliant piece of gold. Elated, He dashed through the palace gardens, watching in awe as flowers, plants, stones, and even statues shimmered and transformed into radiant gold before his eyes. His initial excitement was like a vibrant flame illuminating his heart and making him feel like the luckiest man alive. Yet as time flowed on, that flame began to flicker. When Midas finally sat down for a meal, the weight of reality came crashing in, dimming the glow of his earlier joy. He raised a piece of fresh bread to his lips, but as soon as they made contact, the bread transformed into solid gold, unyielding and impossible to chew. Bewildered and irritated, he attempted to sip water from a cup, only to find that the moment it met his lips, the liquid turned to solid gold as well. Before long, a wave of panic washed over him. Every morsel of food and sip of drink transformed into cold, lifeless metal, and Midas was struck with a profound sense of dread at the folly of his wish. Just as the weight of his predicament began to settle upon him, his cherished daughter entered the room, her brow furrowed with concern for her father's peculiar demeanor. She rushed to his side, eager to offer comfort, and in a moment of despair, Midas instinctively reached out to hold her close. In that moment, she transformed into a golden statue, her face forever etched with surprise. Heartbroken and filled with despair, Midas came to a painful realization. His wish had morphed into a dreadful curse. Midas fell to his knees, his heart heavy with sorrow, as he implored Dionysus for mercy, yearning to reverse the calamity that had befallen him. The cries of the king reached the ears of the god, who returned his gaze, piercing through the veil of Midas's despair. With a heart softened by empathy, Dionysus offered guidance, urging Midas to seek the waters of the river Pactolus, which meandered serenely through the lush landscapes of Phrygia. In that moment, the king approached the shimmering waters, seeking to cleanse himself of the golden touch that had bound him. With urgency, Midas rushed to the riverbank, immersing his hands in the refreshing flow. As he scrubbed away the remnants of his curse, a transformation began, and his humanity was beautifully restored. He hurried back to his palace, where he discovered his daughter had returned to her former self. The curse had been lifted. From that moment on, the sands of Pactolus River glimmered softly with tiny specks of gold, a gentle reminder to all who journeyed by of King Midas's hard-earned wisdom that life, love, and the simple pleasures are far more valuable than gold. Next, let us delve into the tale of Chiron, a centaur who distinguished himself from his brethren. In the realm of Greek mythology, centaurs were often depicted as untamed beings, half human and half horse, celebrated more for their fierce nature and fondness for wine than for their compassion or insight. Yet Chiron was a remarkable exception. From the union of the Titan, Cronus, and the nymph Philyra emerged Chiron, a being imbued with an extraordinary calm and gentleness, traits rare among his centaur kin. While many of his kind thrived in the wild, stirring chaos in the forests, Chiron chose a different path. He settled on the serene slopes of Mount Pelion in the tranquil hills of Thessaly. There he crafted a humble abode, a cave embraced by lush forests and crystal-clear streams, where he could immerse himself in study and share his wisdom in a sanctuary of peace. Chiron possessed profound wisdom and knowledge, excelling in medicine, astronomy, hunting, music, and prophecy. He earned a reputation not merely as a teacher, but as one of the most esteemed mentors and guides of ancient Greece. Heroes and kings, gods and goddesses alike, held Chiron in high regard for his fairness and intelligence. Many legendary heroes journeyed to Mount Pelion to seek his wisdom. Among them was Achilles, destined to be the greatest warrior of Greece and one of Chiron's most cherished students. Under Chiron's attentive guidance, the young Achilles honed his skills in combat hunting and the art of healing. Chiron imparted invaluable lessons of courage and compassion to Achilles, shaping the young hero's journey for all time. He also took Jason under his wing, the renowned leader of the Argonauts, steering him on the quest for the Golden Fleece. Through his wisdom, Chiron revealed the essence of leadership, teaching Jason how to rally men and foster unwavering loyalty. Perseus, the valiant champion who triumphed over Medusa, was yet another of his pupils. Under Chiron's guidance, Perseus discovered the strength of self-trust and the power of composure in perilous times. However, it was Chiron's bond with Heracles, widely recognized as Hercules, that captured the most attention. In the realm of legends, Heracles, a figure of unmatched might, frequently sought the wisdom of Chiron, the noble centaur. With open arms, Chiron embraced him, offering not just his home, but a treasure trove of knowledge. Yet on one fateful day, the winds of misfortune began to blow. Heracles received an invitation to partake in a grand feast hosted by the centaur Pholus, who had uncorked a remarkable jug of wine. The alluring aroma wafted through the air, drawing in other centaurs whose thirst turned them wild and unruly. In an instant, chaos erupted as Heracles found himself in a fierce struggle against these frenzied centaurs. In the midst of turmoil, Heracles unleashed a flurry of arrows for his own defense, oblivious to the fact that one wayward shot found its mark on Chiron, who observed the battle from afar. This fateful arrow, tainted with the lethal venom of the Hydra, bore a poison potent enough to conquer any being. Though Chiron possessed immortality, the venom inflicted upon him a relentless agony that knew no end. No remedy or potion could soothe the torment of this injury. In the face of his profound anguish, Chiron held on to his grace and composure. He bore this unrelenting suffering in silence for what felt like an eternity. In time, a unique opportunity to alleviate his suffering emerged. During this period, Prometheus the Titan, who had bestowed fire upon humanity, endured immense anguish as retribution from Zeus. Bound to a mountain, he faced the relentless torment of an eagle that visited him each day. Chiron, fully aware of the depths of unending suffering, felt a profound empathy for Prometheus's situation. Driven by compassion, he approached Zeus with a bold proposal to exchange his own immortality for Prometheus's freedom. Zeus, touched by the centaur's selfless decision, graciously accepted the offer. Prometheus was liberated, and at last Chiron's suffering came to an end. In recognition of Chiron's selfless sacrifice and compassion, Zeus elevated the centaur to the heavens, forming the constellation we now recognize as Sagittarius. Thus, Chiron discovered a different form of immortality, softly illuminating the night sky, offering guidance to travelers, hunters, and heroes who look up in wonder. At long last, we find ourselves drawn into the poignant narrative of Echo and Narcissus, a timeless fable from the rich tapestry of ancient Greek mythology. This tale serves as a cautionary reminder of the perils that accompany pride and vanity, while simultaneously evoking the deep sorrow of unreturned affection. Echo. A vibrant young nymph roamed the verdant forests and majestic mountains, her spirit as bright as her lively conversations that echoed through the trees. Echo had a passion for sharing tales, captivating her friends with her boundless chatter. Her voice flowed like a melody, enchanting all who listened. Yet this very talent for words led her into a web of complications. In the realm of ancient myths, Zeus, the mighty ruler of the gods, would often wander through the enchanting forests and towering mountains, seeking the company of the nymphs who called these places home. Yet, his beloved wife Hera, sensing something amiss with his frequent absences, grew wary and set out to uncover the truth. Meanwhile, the ever-obliging Echo, with her gift for conversation, would engage Hera in delightful chatter, allowing Zeus to slip away into the shadows, unseen and unbothered. When Hera finally uncovered the truth, behind Echo's conversations, mere distractions crafted to aid Zeus in his escape, her fury knew no bounds. In her wrath, she resolved that Echo must face consequences. With a decree both simple and severe, Hera stripped Echo of her gift of free speech, leaving her only the power to echo the last few words spoken by others. In the depths of her sorrow, Echo found herself burdened by a heavy silence. Stripped of her voice, she retreated into the shadows of her own heart. Each day, she meandered through the whispering woods and towering mountains, a solitary figure, shunning the company of others, lost in her own world of quiet reflection. Once her life was filled with joy, but it had transformed into a realm of solitude and quietude. One fateful day, as Echo meandered softly through the forest, her gaze fell upon a striking young man named Narcissus. He was the epitome of beauty, captivating the admiration of all who crossed his path, both men and women alike. His captivating presence drew countless admirers, each yearning to capture his heart. However, Narcissus remained indifferent, convinced that he stood apart from the rest, too extraordinary for the love of mere mortals. Echo, on the other hand, found herself utterly spellbound by him. She observed him from a distance, yearning to draw near, yet aware that the first words could not be hers to utter. One afternoon, as Narcissus strolled through the woods in solitude, an instinct told him he was not alone. Intrigued, he called out, "Is someone there?" Echo, concealed among the trees, could only reply gently, "Someone there." Narcissus furrowed his brow, a wave of confusion washing over him as he beckoned once more. "Come closer." With a heart full of anticipation, Echo emerged joyfully, echoing, "Come closer." Yet upon laying eyes on Echo, Narcissus's demeanor shifted, turning icy and indifferent. He turned away from Echo's timid yet yearning affection, his words sharp and unyielding. "Leave me alone," he declared coldly. "I will never love you." Echo's heart shattered within her. She softly murmured his cruel words, "Never love you," as she withdrew into the depths of the forest. From that moment on, she sought refuge in isolation, gradually disappearing, until only her delicate voice lingered, resonating gently through the woods, mountains, and caves whenever a word was spoken. In the tale of Narcissus, he continued his journey, unmoved by Echo's heartache, firmly believing that no one could ever earn his affection. One fateful day, while wandering alone, he felt a parching thirst and paused by a serene, crystal-clear pool nestled in the heart of the forest. As he knelt to quench his thirst, he was suddenly captivated, halting in his tracks upon encountering his own reflection for the very first time, Narcissus found himself utterly enchanted, falling head over heels for the stunning visage that gazed back at him. Unaware that this exquisite image was merely his own reflection, he became entranced, lost in a reverie of admiration. Day after day, he lingered by the pool, unable to tear himself away from the beauty that danced upon the surface of the water. He turned a blind eye to nourishment slumber, and the bustling world beyond utterly captivated by his fixation. With every attempt to seize the shimmering reflection, it slipped away, swallowed by the undulating surface. Still, he pressed on, yearning to capture that fleeting allure. In the end, consumed by hunger, thirst, and an overwhelming sadness, Narcissus languished beside the shimmering pool, yearning for a love that would forever elude him. As his final breath escaped him, the nymphs and woodland creatures gathered in mourning, their hearts heavy with the sorrow that such exquisite beauty had brought forth such despair. From the very place where Narcissus took his last breath, a delicate flower emerged, unfurling its petals in soft hues of white and gold. In the present day, we refer to this flower as the narcissus or daffodil, a bloom that still bends its petals in homage to its own reflection, eternally recalling the sorrowful fate of Narcissus. As for Echo, though she lost her voice and physical form, her gentle whispers linger in the forests and mountains, softly mirroring the words of those who wander through. Her essence stands as a quiet, lasting reminder of the heartache wrought by unreciprocated love, pride and vanity, highlighting the vital need for kindness towards one another. In the stillness of the night, beneath a canopy of stars, we gather to share tales that resonate with humility, compassion, and a subtle strength. These narratives may lack grandiose battles or mighty deities, yet their teachings softly echo, reminding us that within the simplest moments, magic wisdom and beauty can emerge. As we recount these stories tonight, we weave ourselves into an eternal tapestry, echoing the whispers of those who walked before us, ensuring their essence is tenderly passed on to future generations. As we approach the conclusion of our captivating exploration of Greek mythology, let us pause to reflect on the remarkable essence of these tales. Why do they continue to resonate with us even after millennia, since they were first shared by the flickering light of ancient fires? What is it about these timeless narratives that remain so potent and profoundly relatable, regardless of the ages that have come and gone? The answer, in part, resides in their exceptional capacity to mirror the human experience. These narratives, though unfolding in realms of deities, champions, creatures, and wonders, feel strikingly intimate. They delve into enduring truths about love and loss, courage and fear, pride and humility, emotions and experiences that resonate with us all. Consider the pride of Achilles, the compassion of Prometheus, or the courage of Perseus. These are not just figures from a distant past. They embody fragments of our essence, reflecting our strengths and vulnerabilities, our aspirations and letdowns. Through the lens of mythology, we delve into the profound enigmas of existence, uncovering soothing narratives and enchanting tales about our origins, the purpose of our lives, and the fate that awaits us beyond this realm. These timeless tales softly remind us that the quest for understanding has always been a part of the human experience, just as it continues to be in our present journey. we are reminded that we belong to a grander narrative, one filled with enigmas that surpass our individual existence, urging us to confront the unknown with bravery, optimism, and grace. In many ways, these tales remain timeless. Indeed, while their specifics may evolve, yet at their core, these tales remain as significant today as they were when first shared in the flickering light of ancient fires. They serve as a reminder that despite the progress of our world, our fundamental essence, the ways we love, fear, dream, and strive, has remained remarkably constant. Most crucially, these narratives foster a sense of connection among us. As you listened, perhaps you envisioned yourself beside the ancient narrators, feeling the gentle warmth of a fire on your skin, absorbing these ageless tales. It's a lovely notion that through the passage of millennia, across diverse cultures and lands, narratives continue to unite us, reminding us that at our essence we share more similarities than differences. So, the next time you gaze at the stars or gather around a fire, let these tales linger in your thoughts. Recall the valiant Perseus facing Medusa, the contemplative Prometheus daring to seize fire, and Orpheus who risked it all for love. These myths transcend mere antiquity. They serve as vibrant reflections of our essence and our potential. As we've wandered through the expansive and enchanting realm of Greek mythology, whether you've been an attentive participant or a silent observer, I sincerely hope this adventure has brought you joy. I invite you to share which myth or character resonated with you in the comments below. I'm eager to hear your insights. If you found our narrative today captivating, think about subscribing and activating notifications, ensuring you won't miss our next adventure into the realms of mythology, history, or mystery. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and until we meet again, keep your curiosity alive and stay safe.